couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let them know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show them who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad, I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
The first game we look for, Robbie, when we got Tottenham away. How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the channel.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, literally, Arsenal. How's everyone doing? Listen. We are gonna discuss it, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Welcome to Tottenham away. As always, the best place to be in town. Whenever you want to listen to Tottenham Hotspur football chat. Spurs beat Everton 4-0. Very convincing, very dominant, easy piece of work. If I'm going to be honest with you, I was there. I'll give you my perspective. We got Dan from the Hotspur Hood. We've got Michael. We've got Dietrich, Kane, and Mari will be joining us shortly. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the channel. Make sure you follow Hotspur Hood as well. Subscribe to Dan's channel. Thanks for joining us tonight. Chat in the comments. We'll get as many comments as we can up on the screen as the show goes on. Dan, how you doing, my man? You all right? Good?
Yeah, well, 4-0 win. We didn't concede, so I'm a happy man. Yeah, there's things we can talk about on there, but 4-0's 4-0. Happy with what I got.
Yeah, four goals and a clean sheet. Michael, you good, man? Royal Masterclass enjoyer?
That's an old one. I have to change it. I had poised Daniel for the longest of time, but yeah. By the way, how does Donna Cullen know my surname? It's like it's a bit concerning, guys, because I never reviewed it here. So
I don't know your surname.
just actually, Stelios, you appear in my like friends, like suggested friends on Facebook. I had you, Brian Daigle, like JP, and Connor, the Arsenal guy that we do shows with. Like all of you appear in my Facebook recommendations. So yeah, and overall, really, really great. I enjoyed the game today. I enjoyed all other games, but not the Aston Villa versus Aston Villa versus Arsenal game. That was a shit show. I don't know how they didn't concede a goal again. But yeah, we talk about Spurs here. Yeah.
We are going to discuss the other games in the Premier League after we talk about the Spurs game. So we are going to get onto that one as well. Dietrich, how you doing, brother? You right? Where are you? You in Albania? You in Greece? You still on holiday? You back in Canada?
No, I'm good. I'm leaving tomorrow back to Canada. But Greece was amazing. And about the Spurs game, I'm pretty pissed because I saw Beetlejuice play. But it is what it is.
Brennan Johnson. We're going to talk about him as well. Don't worry.
I hope
guys, thank you. Listen, we have to talk about Brennan Johnson because that was a talking point in the stadium as well when I was there. But very quickly before we begin, I just want to say happy birthday to the last man to captain Spurs to an FA Cup win, Gary Mabbott. 1991, people. Look at that. Look at those pictures. Look at those shorts. Look at those kits. How it's changed. But 34 years ago, the last time we won the FA Cup, and we were the record holders back then. How it's all changed. But anyway, happy birthday to the one and only Gary Mabbott. Big up, Gary. We've got over 200 people watching. Thank you for tuning in, guys. There's loads of you in the chat. Hello. Big up to Spiros as well, who I did a video with after the game in the stand. So check out the video I did with Spiros today. We went to the game together. So let's get into it, guys. Starting lineup. This had some talking points. It was the usual back four: Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie. But the midfield, Bissouma came back in because Bentancur was injured. Maddison and Kulu. So Kulu started this game, dropped for the previous game, and he played in the midfield three. And then it was a front three of Johnson, Son, and Odobert started his first ever game for Spurs. On the bench, it was Foster Spence, Ben Davies, who was given a 10-year recognition before the game kicked off, Dragusin, Gray, Sarr, Bergvall, Werner, and Richarlison. A lot of people thought Richarlison would start. Wrong. Son started up front. So look, I'm not just going to go around the circle. We can all just talk. Were you happy that Son started up front before we knew what was going to happen today? Did you want to see Richarlison start? Were you happy that Odobert started ahead of the other options? And the midfield three, were you happy with that as well? Let me bring in Maz as well. Big up, Maz. Welcome to the show. So
Big up, Maz.
There's no point talking about big up, Maz. There's no point talking about the defense and the goalie because it's the same every game. But in terms of the midfield and in terms of the front three, what were your thoughts on it before the game started?
Well, honestly, is my mic working?
Yeah, but you are
just
quite low.
Sorry, yeah. I was happy when I didn't see Sarr playing. For the first time, this guy did not start, and we look so fluid and better in the midfield. That's the only positive.
What, without Pape Sarr?
Yeah, without Pape Sarr.
What do you guys think about that?
I have to agree with
Kulu was amazing. Honestly, Kulu was amazing in midfield.
I think
worked well. It worked perfectly, and Bissouma behind works well.
Yeah. Not only does the central role fit him better, in my opinion, but also you could just, he has more maturity and skill on the ball. As much as I'm not on the Pape Sarr hate train, I'm not saying that any of you are, but I've seen some mad takes about Pape Sarr. I'm not so far up that end, but I think that he lacks technicality on the ball, and he just gives us physicality in the midfield. And it was nice to see three guys that all could actually like take the ball to feet, dribble with it, pass, do like roam around, take different positions. It was really nice. And I honestly have to say I was also like a bit surprised with Richarlison not starting. It's not that I wanted Richarlison to start, but I expected to, because of all the comments about Son's like favorite position being the left wing and all that stuff. But yeah, it also like gives you a good perspective on like where Richarlison is in the pecking order. Because like Solanke started the first game, even though he never played for us, and now Son goes up top over him. Yeah.
No, I thought that midfield worked a treat. I mean, who was it who said it yesterday? Was it you still said we should start Kulusevski in midfield, or you agreed with me that he should be the false
It was
nine?
me.
Yeah, because you did suggest that. I mean, personally, I would have started him as the false nine, but with the way it worked today, I think we all knew Son was going to go up there most probably. Yeah, you can't complain about that. I thought that midfield looked, as like Dietrich said, as fluid as it has done in a good 20-odd games, if not more. I thought it worked a treat. The only one out there that, for me, I was just surprised that Johnson was on the pitch, but we'll leave that one till later.
Yeah, I thought the midfield. Do you know what? At half time, we'll go through the whole game. At half time, I spoke to my mate Spiros that I went with, and I said to him, "This is so difficult to gauge because Everton was so bad." And I'm not trying to downplay Spurs here, right? Because we still had to take advantage of playing a bad team. You still got to put 4 goals, 5 goals, 3 goals past them, keep a clean sheet. We did all that. We kept a clean sheet. We scored lots of goals. I'm not taking anything away from the Spurs. But I sat there, not once did I fear anything Everton did. Maybe the last 5 minutes of the second half, they got a couple of corners and we looked a little bit shaky at times. Vicario not coming out to claim the ball. But overall, it was like work. It was like watching a training session. Like, they were shit, man. Like, really bad. And before Son even scored his goal, the first goal, Pickford twice nearly messed up the same thing, because that was coming as well, him messing up. So it's difficult to gauge how good the midfield was, guys. Can Bissouma do this next week at St James's Park? I don't know. Can Kulusevski and Maddison be as fluid as they were away at St James's Park? I don't know. You got Murray. Man, say what you think, but it's so difficult to gauge where we're at with this.
Yeah, I actually thought it was a good lineup. I was actually pleasantly surprised that he didn't play Werner and he didn't play Richarlison. I had an inkling that he was going to default back to last season's team with Werner on the top left, Son through the middle, Johnson on the right, and play Bissouma, Sarr and Maddison, and put Kulusevski on the bench. And I'm glad he didn't do that. I'm glad that he dropped Sarr and put in Kulu in the middle, because Kulu's been actually playing quite well. He's much more like his old self in terms of how he's beating players, his passing, his execution. He's not making mistakes. I know it's only 2 games, so make of that what you will. So I was pleased that it was in the team, and obviously seeing Odobert start, we all want to see what he's like. So I thought that was a good game to start him and see what he can do against an Everton side with tons of injuries on there. So the team selection, I think, was pretty good. I disagree with you in terms of Everton's potency. I thought in the first 10-15 minutes they had a couple of chances where a half decent team probably would have put one of them away. Was it their number 10? Don't know the guy's name. But there was a chance at the back post where he hit it wide, and I was thinking, if that was
there was one back post where he missed it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, if that was a better team, that would have been certainly, I think, would have been a goal. But there wasn't that many negatives in terms of the overall team performance. I thought You know, we bossed the game. We looked comfortable. There was individual performances that really worried me, however, and all I could think about during the whole game was how bad Johnson was, which I know we're going to come to, how ineffective Maddison was, and Odobert. He looked really lively, and I liked the fact that he was trying to take on players and trying to make something happen. But there was no real end product, and that was what was for me was dominating my thoughts on the game. Not that we weren't doing what we were meant to do, but the same individuals just struggling against a really crap Everton team.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Tony Rodriguez has gifted a Tottenham away membership. So thank you, Tony. Whoever grabs hold of that, big up to you, Tony. Thank you so much. Yeah, sorry, Murray.
I said this last week. There's going to be the good, the bad, the ugly. There's going to be games where we win 3-0, 3-1, 4-0. And today is that team. Everton is horrible. I saw the game against Brighton last week. Brighton could have 5, 6, 7. So I knew that if we couldn't, my prediction was 3-1. If we couldn't score against Everton, we are in big, big trouble. You know, they're missing Brathwaite. And it's just so today was, you know, a good result. But like you said, it is Everton. It is Everton. Next week we go to the House of Horrors, I call it. St. James, Newcastle, back-to-back years. You know, we got smacked. So that's what's coming up. But in the game, for the most part, some good performances. It's good to see Sonny get a gift and then score a beautiful goal from assist from Van de Ven. We saw the premiere of Odobert, and I agree with Maz. You know, at the beginning, he took on a man. I was seeing like, oh, wow, see some good stuff. But we haven't seen the end product yet. So that's why I kind of want people to be tempered. Like, it was okay. You know, our fan base was spectacular. Well, he didn't score. He didn't assist. And, you know, he made some mistakes. There was one in the second half where he passed the ball into the middle where Everton had that chance, one of their very few chances to try to score. Bad pass. The midfield, for the most part, Bissouma needed a big game to be in good graces with the team and with the fans. Maddison, I agree with Maz. Something's wrong with Maddison. I'm going to get back to that. Quickly get back to that. Sarr coming in the second half. You see that energy. I'm still not happy in regards of his, you know, how he is with the ball in regards to ball possession. But some of the counters in the second half, I mean, him pressing, he knows he gets the thing going. Then the back line, VDV, amazing. Poro, Udoji, I thought played a better game than his first game. Romero would have been my man of the match. And this is where I'm going back to. This is where I get back. No, listen, Dan. This is where people need to look at the whole picture. Right? People are going to focus on the two bad passes that Romero had the first half. But like I was saying in the group chat, Maz, you know in the 9th minute, this is where it gets back to Maddison, right? Because Romero had a goal. In the 9th minute, he was onside. He pinged the pass to Maddison, Romero, and Maddison 1v1 with Pickford. Does not score. In the second half, in the 48th minute, another possible assist, ping to James Maddison once again, and he missed. This is the thing I was talking about last season. There were many chances. Romero was almost like the CDM, passing, but we were wasteful. So I'm a little bit concerned with Maddison not finishing. I almost wish it was Sonny that he pinged it to, because those would have been goals, at least one out of the two. So last week, Romero got the heat. This week, I'm not hearing it because
No, Mario. No. I completely.
wait. Let me finish. Let me land. When you watch the whole game, let me land. Maddison robbed Romero of 2 assists and a goal. And if you have that type of a game, usually you're man of the match. That's what I'm saying. I'm mad at Maddison. I agree with Maz because there were 2 assists that Romero could have had today along with that goal. That's what I'm saying. Look at the game.
No, but
9th
you're
minute
not.
and 48th minute.
Okay, but that's the problem, Mario. You're looking at the wrong picture. His job is defending. Look at the 2 passes he did. He could have cost a goal. And your job is to protect the back line.
And I mentioned that.
No.
He made up for it. No, I'm not.
No, he didn't. I'm sorry, he did not make up for it. No. You make one mistake. No, everyone makes a mistake in a game, but twice, no, it's unacceptable. For me today, he didn't have a good game.
And you know why? Because where were the other people?
You cleared the ball. Cleared the ball.
It's a symptom. Dietrich is a symptom of the system.
Where were the other people? But even then, I will take that. But those 2 passes, literally, Maddison has to score. That's like 2 assists right there.
But it doesn't matter about the pass.
Along with a goal.
Yeah, but I'd rather you not making those passes. No, I'd rather you not making those passes at all than making those 2 mistakes.
You'd rather not.
If it was okay, just imagine.
I'm sorry.
No. Imagine at St. James Park, he makes those 2 mistakes. I swear to God, Isaac will score 2 goals.
I'm with you with it, but I'm talking about this week. I'm talking about this game because he got all that heat last week, right? And everybody else, if you look at the whole picture, failed in that whole sequence. But he got all the heat. Great. I'm like, this week, give him some of his flowers. Give him some stuff. The Peacock.
Match. For what he did, for the mistakes he did make, he had a good game. He had an all right game. But for the mistakes he did make, you have to knock it off a couple of points as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, all right, he scored a goal, really good for a defender and everything, and he put some good through balls over. But he also, against a better team, would have cost us a goal or 2. You've got to look at it. If you're talking about looking at it from perspective and look at the whole game, then don't just look at that part, look at the whole game. His job is defense.
I see both
I knocked a couple
view.
of points off of him, but I also thought he wasn't poor today. I thought he was good, but on the defensive side of what he's meant to do, he made a couple of mistakes that could have cost us. So for me, that's no man of the match performance.
Guys, I'm confused.
Think he was man of the match.
I'm confused. We won 4-0. We kept a clean sheet. We weren't. I don't think we were brilliant. But if we're going to call out players or question players, how the hell are we calling out Romero in this game?
No. I'm happy with the
because man of the match was stated. That's the only
point. No. It's only the man of the match.
I didn't say he was. I said he could have had it if it was for Maddison, because the premise was what's going on with Maddison. I think Maddison was the only. I agree with Maz. We said that in the chat.
Van de Ven was the best player on the day, personally. That's just
overall. I'm just saying he was robbed of that because of Maddison.
I see. Mari's got a good point. There's
something wrong with Maddison. I'm just saying.
The way I view Romero's performance is I think he had a good game, and Mari's right. It had his passes converted with Maddison being on the end of them, then people would have been like, wow, look at Romero, he scored a goal, set up 2 goals and blah blah blah, and then you'll quickly forget about the 2 mistakes. But
if we get Johnson for not finishing and everybody else
it wasn't just Romero. I mean, Pedro Porro made 2 mistakes that game. Udogie actually didn't make any mistakes I could think of.
No, he had one of his better games today. He lost the ball once or twice.
I mean, Johnson, I'm just beyond.
We're going to get onto it.
Beyond words about how bad Johnson is. I know we're going to come to it, so I'm not going to.
Do you know what? Let's actually get into the nuts and bolts of the game. Before we do, I just want to quickly say there's someone in the chat who's behaving like I don't think you've watched that channel before. So Mako80. It feels like we need Newcastle to humble us so we can back up our claims. we look battered. Sorry, lads, we look devastated. Then you go on to say that we've been batting Romero all week, give your heads a wobble, you look gutted. Right, Mako 80, maybe you're not used to watching this channel, you're used to watching other channels that praise and hype and tug on each other's penises. But on this channel, right, what we do is we take it for face value, right? Everton are shit. Leicester City aren't great. We've beaten one team in the top 10 since December. We've won 5 games in the last 13. All 5 are in the bottom 5. Just put some perspective on things. If we go and beat Newcastle away and we beat Arsenal, we are not going to be sitting here talking a bit like this. No chance, right? So I want you to come back after those 2 games with this same kind of rhetoric. Until then, maybe go watch those other channels that feed you the fake positivity you want. We're actually defending Romero right now. We've praised Spurs for the result. We've said it's great we kept a clean sheet. Yet you're moaning. You're moaning about what we're saying. Turn off YouTube. Go watch another channel. This isn't for you, maybe, right? I'm being honest with you, buddy.
Yeah,
so anyway.
Big up to Big Tone. I didn't even know this. He had the highest score in the game.
But he gets more for a goal as a defender, right? Because like SofaScore is really algorithmic with
but even then, he had a good game. Even moved that point.
Mari, no one thought he had a bad game except for Dietrich.
No. Dietrich wasn't even making a point that he had a bad game.
I never think he was horrendous.
It's not a man of the match.
No, Dietrich was basically saying same as me. Like I was agreeing with Dietrich.
For me, it's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
7 out
exactly. It wasn't a bad game.
Great, by the way. It's 7 out of 10.
The only thing we disagreed with was Mari saying that. I mean, maybe for you, Mari, but saying that he could have been man of the match material.
I said, he could have been.
No,
with
but
those
that's where we're called that just opinion. That one for me, no chance. There was
if he had those 2 assists from Maddison, right? If he had those 2 assists from Maddison, then definite man of the match, right?
Yeah,
that's then maybe Maddison takes it because he scored the 2 goals.
Right? That's what I said. That's what I said. Yeah. I didn't say he deserved it. I'm just saying I'm mad at Maddison because Maddison hasn't been finishing.
Yeah, just to follow up on what Spurs said to that Mako guy, right? It's like, with all due respect to Everton, but we are not going to have like a wank fest here that we beat them 4-0, right? It's like, just, I know it doesn't come off, but we are actually really, I am fucking stoked that we kept a clean sheet, right? I didn't expect that, and I was honestly like super surprised. And listen, big up to our guys. Big up to 10 out of 11 players on that pitch, right? Because there was one fucking idiot on that right wing that we have to talk about, right? And I know we are, pushing it aside a bit, right? But we have to talk about this guy later. But other than that, I think the whole team had a solid game. Game from Bissouma, solid game from the centre backs, full backs. Son was great. I think Kulusevski was great. It's like, Odobert, I know there wasn't much end product, but I would much rather see Odobert than Johnson. Like, I don't think he completed a fucking cross. Or Werner. Yeah. I don't think Johnson completed a cross this game. In a game where we literally had everything handed to us on a silver platter, and he still couldn't complete a cross.
Even Odobert completed 0.
Yes. Okay, so then maybe my argument goes to shit, right? But still, you know what? Fuck it. I would still rather see Odobert because he has I have some patience left in the tank for a guy like him. I don't have any patience left with Johnson. I've seen too much of the same shit.
Let me get into the game. Let me get into the game because otherwise we're just end up slamming Johnson. So in the 3rd minute, Pickford made a save from Romero. It was a quick start from Spurs. I actually couldn't believe Romero didn't finish that, but he is a centre back. If it was a forward, maybe it is 1-0. Then in the 6th minute, Pickford saves from Son. I couldn't believe Son didn't finish that. These were cracking chances. And then in the 11th minute, Pickford makes a save from Maddison. This one, for me, was Maddison had to finish that, right? So
he could have had a hat trick today.
Mate, within 11 minutes, we've had 3 really good chances. Pickford saved them all. I don't think our finishing was as great as it should have been. And there I'm thinking, and everyone in the stadium is thinking, here we go again.
Yeah.
Leicester City again. But these chances were much better than the ones we got against Leicester. These were really good chances.
Yeah.
But what made me happy was that in the 14th minute, it wasn't just that Bissouma scored. He hammered it, top bins, rocket of a goal. Brilliant work from Kulusevski that teed up the midfielder. Big up to Kulu for that. But what I liked about this, guys, and tell what you think, it wasn't that just Bissouma scored and Kulu set it up. The amount of times I watch Spurs, and it's try and get a player through or back post tapping. Try and get a player through. We never try anything different.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw a long range effort from a Spurs player? And look what happens. He's hit it from...
Poro, just Poro, basically.
That's it. So finally, a midfielder says, "Do you know what? Let me try something different." And he buried it, man. It was a bullet of a goal. So I was so happy that when the basics aren't working, someone decided to try something a little bit different, and it worked. So I don't know what you lot thought about it. I thought it was a banger from Bissouma, man. I thought it was a quality.
Scotch said that it was a lucky shot, and 9 out of 10 chances are going to go out of the stadium. I think we need to give him a bit more credit than that. You know, it was a good goal, and we can't just put a play it down.
Can people send him balloons to his house so he can keep on doing the same thing? Because
listen, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, just don't film it, right? Just don't film yourself doing that and put it on the.
I mean, Bissouma's performance was good, but it wasn't amazing. He just did what he needed to do, right? And he didn't make any mistakes, and he scored the goal. So
yeah, I'd give him a 7. I thought he had a respectable game, like most of the people on there. I think about the whole game itself. The thing I was most impressed with was 4 goals. Fine, 4 goals. It's Everton. I was just most impressed that we kept a clean sheet.
Yeah,
exactly. Whether we'd have won that 1-0 or 10-0. Even if we'd have won that 15-0, I think I'd have still been more impressed with the fact that we didn't concede a bloody goal. That was the bit I was more impressed with. Because at one stage, they was really starting to put some pressure on us, and it looked like we was panicking in the box, and we managed to get rid of it. And we kept a clean sheet, and that's something I've been asking for a long time.
Yeah, we've all been saying it. We've got to start keeping clean sheets. Do you guys think Everton did enough to justify scoring a goal today? Do you think, because at least Leicester, they had a couple of players, something about them that caused us a few problems when they tried it. I felt Everton, I thought Calvin Lewis was crap.
No, even what's his name, Jack Harrison's Chelsea was supposed to score.
Was that the back post one that Matt spoke about?
Yeah, the back post.
Yeah.
Like that should be a goal.
Yeah, I think they deserve to score today. I think that they had enough chances to get one in at least. Because there were like a couple of opportunities where the ball was like the Jack Harrison chance is one thing, right? But there were a couple of chances where they were taking shots inside our box and they were blocked. But the fact that they had those chances for me means that if it like, because like Scott was even saying something about luck. I think you also sometimes need a bit of luck in football, right? You it's not everything doesn't have to be like skillful, right? And one of those shots that they took, you know, could have scraped the knee of our defender and went top bins. And would I be mad about this? I don't think so. I think they actually deserve to score one today. But nothing of the sorts of like, you know, they deserve the draw or anything like that. Again, respectfully, but today, yeah, it was a deserved win by Spurs. At least I look at it that way.
After 20 minutes, these were the stats, guys. We had 4 shots on target, they had 0. Expected goals, 0.53. Theirs was 0.28. Touch in the opposition box, double theirs. Possession, pure dominance. There literally was only one team in the game for 20 minutes, and it was Spurs. We completely overwhelmed them. I guess this was similar to what happened against Leicester, but I think we found a lot more space in behind the Everton back line because we got in a couple of times. That's why.
Well, even their best defender was injured.
Sorry?
Everton's best defender was injured, so we were lucky a bit. Braithwaite.
Yeah, Braithwaite was out. Yeah. And then we just carried on with the momentum, and then 25 minutes in, Heung-min Son it happened a couple of times. He was shutting down Pickford, and Pickford nearly got it wrong. But on the third time, he caught Pickford, and Son basically nicked the ball off for him. Pickford kind of fell to the ground trying to recover the ball, and then it was an empty net for Son to put it into. And listen, do you know what? The XG for Son's goal was 0.86, which means practically he couldn't miss it. So the hard work was pressing, winning the ball. The empty goal was that was easy for a player of his caliber. But I want to ask you this question, guys, right? Because I was chatting to Spiro, who's with me, and he was saying to me, look, he's washed, we've got to start looking for a replacement. I said to him, I agree, we do need to start looking for a replacement. But and I said it in the video after the game because we were having a chat about it. And I said to him that this is my issue with Son. We criticize him for not being the Son of old. We criticize him. Last week, he got absolutely butchered from the fan base for his performance last week against Leicester. But here's the thing. He scores 2 goals today. Yes, it's against Everton. But I'm willing to bet all of you now, come the end of the season, out of all our midfielders, all our forwards, all our strikers, as long as he stays fit, I bet you Son is our top scorer again. And this is the problem I've got. This is the problem I've got. What do you not think about this? Because Son's going to get, every time he has a bad game, he's going to get cussed. He's going to get butchered. And rightly so, because we butcher every player that has a bad game. But I
would say this.
He's the top scorer of the club for 2 games already. And it's going to carry on like this. I think it is.
What Son has, and he is up there in Europe in regards is his finishing. If he has the space, his finishing it's elite. Son knows how to finish.
His finishing is world class.
Yeah, his finishing is world class. The problem is he's no young chicken. He's no spring chicken anymore. He's not. So he doesn't have the. Once a blue moon, he could take on a man, maybe, but he doesn't have those legs anymore. Because, Father Time is undefeated, right? And so he doesn't have that, consistent pace. You'll see him burst here and there, but he's getting older. But the one thing he still has, if he has that space, even from outside the box, if he has that space, there's a good chance he's going in. Because he's still an excellent finisher. He's still
this is where he needs to adapt his game now.
Yeah, he almost has to change his game a little bit. He's still an excellent finisher, and that's why he'll still be our leading scorer. He'll still be in the top 10 in goals for the year and in the Premier League because his finishing has not regressed, but everything else is. You're starting to see everything else.
Yeah.
Although,
what do you think about this comment, guys? Dan, what about this comment? Stell, he will only score the most goals if he plays through the middle. With Solanke, will he play down the middle?
That's a fair point.
That's the problem.
I think with Son, where he's losing his pace, and he's a player that relies on his pace big time, he's still got pace, but he's going to start getting slower. So this is where we see how much of a football brain he really does have on him if he can adapt to his body, basically. Like I always say, like the slower strikers always seem to have a longer career, don't they? Because they have to use their mentality just as much as their skill, like a Teddy Sheringham, like a Harry Kane, like other strikers out there that have been significantly slower. And then you've had other ones like Michael Owen, the second he lost his pace, done and dusted. Son, give him till the end of this season. I still think he'll be a world-class finisher, but he's going to lose significant more pace. And I think he'd be more deadly as a shadow striker in the end, who just hangs about on the edge of the box, basically, to take a shot from any angle, because he's just as good with his left as he is with his right. But the man is losing his pace. His finishing is still world-class.
I think we do a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes. And one if of mine to answer that question is, if we play him on the left, if our manager realizes that he's not a touchline winger, but he is an inside forward, and we actually allow him and make him space to be that inside forward, I think he can easily be the best, the top goal scorer, even playing from the left, right? The issue is if we are going to play him as a touchline winger, this is where all the problems that Dan just mentioned come into play, right? Because he's losing his pace slowly, but listen, he's still fast as fuck, right? Let's not like kid ourselves. He's still one of the fastest players in the league, I would even say, right? He's still actually the stamina this guy has is also like really, really nice, right? The finishing is world class, as you guys said, right? But the how do I call it? Like he's still quick, but he's not sharp, or how do I put it, right? I don't.
It takes him more footsteps to get to his. Sorry to interrupt you. It takes him longer to get to his pace. He's not as quick as he was. He's still as fast, but he's not as quick.
Yeah. So that's why he is worse and worse as a touchline winger, because there you need to be sharp. You need to have those bursts that immediately from like in half a second you have to be at your top speed, and you just knock a ball past someone and go with it, right? So that's my if, right? I think if we allow him, if we use his strengths, even as a winger, I think he can easily be the top goal scorer. But
I want to interject one thing, because Matthew Bell posted this, and my one question, and maybe we may have to do research. I want to know of his goals, how many of those goals are against low block teams? Because if he's a striker in the game where we play against low block teams, because he does have the ability to score in the air, because last week he played on the left, and we played a team that basically was playing on the low block, and so people felt like he didn't have a great game, though he was on the left. Right, the first half I thought he was okay. Second half, but I would like to know that stat of how many goals he scored against teams that actually play the low block when he's playing as a striker, because that's the problem that we have, is just that we have a difficulty of breaking down teams that play the low block, and him being a striker, especially he doesn't have the ability to score in the air. Is the reason why we brought in a Solanke, because you can score many different variations of goals, because when you play against low block teams, you're not really going to have that break on the pace unless you're on the counter. But I mean, it's a good question to think about.
I just think he puts the ball in the back of the net more than anyone else in our club does. I know Solanke got 19 goals last season, but that's the best ever season. Son consistently, his GA is always good every single year. Bar one, I think, had one bad year, but overall, he's always got high GA for a forward.
By the end of the season, yeah. But the other thing is with Son, though, I don't know how people put it. He's a very patchy player. He's very good at making you think that he's had an excellent run of 12 games when he really hasn't. He's very good at not scoring for 4 games and then scoring 6 goals in 3 games, and then not scoring for 3 games and then scoring another 5 goals in 3 games. And over 12 games, it looks like he's had a brilliant patch when he's had a very patchy patch. I've always found him quite patchy. Yeah, I've always found him a bit of a inconsistent in some ways, but by the end of the season, the amount of goals he's usually got, it makes him look very consistent. I think the stats lie a little bit.
That's a fair comment. Yeah. He's not a consistent goal scorer every week, regular. 1-1-1-1. It's like 0-0-3, 0-0-2, 2-2, 0-0-0. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But he still puts up the numbers, right? That's the point, right? Because we have other players who are patchy, but they are like 0-0-0-0-0-0-0-1, 0-0-0-0-0-1, and so I would rather have some, right?
As well, doesn't he? He's a match winner.
Yeah, so it's like I had the talk with a friend of mine today, and he was like, "Oh, you guys have a tough." Spot right now, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, right? And who you are banking on. And I was like, if there is anyone I'm confident that he will put a good performance against those teams, it's Son, right? I have much more confidence in Son than any other player in the team. It's like, and I think ironically, like teams, unless like Newcastle and Arsenal completely low block and give us all the ball and 20% possession and just hit us on the counter, right? But I don't think they will do that to an extent of like what Leicester and Everton did, right? And I think in those type of games, Son is like the best player that we can have in those type of games, because the ruthlessness that this guy has in him, right? The fact that we don't have to create 20 chances for him to score one goal against Arsenal or Newcastle. We only need to create like 2, and he will put one of them away. It's an unbelievable skill, and I'm so happy that you have a guy like him still. Imagine if you didn't have him.
In general, he is clinical. Normally, he's a clinical finisher, isn't he? He doesn't need lots of chances to score, like you said. Well, look, at half time, it was 2-0. The stats, 75% possession to 25, 9 shots to 8. I don't remember where they got those 8 shots from. Maybe they were just... Actually, do you know what?
They did.
They had a lot of corners at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, they did have chances. Yeah. It just wasn't convincing. Apart from the first couple in the beginning, they just weren't convincing.
Well, you know what, Maz, you're right, because I've just looked at the bottom where it says clear-cut chances 0. So that's probably what it is. We had 3 times more passes than them. They had no shots on target. Listen, they were pretty abysmal. So Spurs went in quite comfortable. Right, second half, okay. Now, this a bit of frustration crept into the stadium now. For the first 20, 25 minutes, no intensity, very lethargic. It's almost as if, 2-0, should we just coast it? We don't need to push it. In some ways, that's a good thing, because we do criticise Ange Ball of being gun-ho Wild West. But at the same time, there was moments where if you just play that pass, we're in. Maddison slowed it down. Romero slowed it down. The wingers slowed it down. Odobert looked knackered. Brennan Johnson refused to drive forward. And you just sat there and you're thinking, what are we doing now? It just seemed to really slow. This is where... That's what I got on my mobile phone. I'm bored now.
Still, this is where, for me, Maddison... I don't think he's been a success at Spurs. I really don't. And people... A couple of guys in the chat and yesterday on Savage channel as well. Madison looks good on the ball when he's got the ball at his feet, right? He can beat a player. He can be quick with his feet, get good passes, create little triangles, and shimmy and get in the right positions and stuff like that. But he doesn't get the ball in meaningful areas for me, in terms of in the center of the park, and dictate play, ping the ball around, make us tick. He's always further up the pitch on the left-hand side, almost next to Son, constantly. And when he's in that position, then you get Odobert coming in when he does his inverting Ange Ball stuff as well. So he's playing in a crowded area with loads of our players around him, and he's not dictating and creating as he should. And there's no end product with him as well. So that's why it's not that I don't think he's a good player. He's a good player. He's got skills. He can when he wants to, he can do a good pass and trickery and things of that nature. But look, let's face it. He scored 4 goals last year. He hasn't scored, as he's set up 1 goal this year, or did he set one up today? I can't remember.
He had Romero header was his corner. Right?
Okay, so
2 assists.
Fair enough. He's got 2 assists, but you don't look at him and think, "Wow, he's our maestro in the middle of the pitch. He's our amazing number 10 that is going to unlock the teams and dictate play and boss the game." He's not bossing He's not bossing the game.
He's got no space to do it though. When he's got 2 inverted wing backs sitting on his arse, along with two centre mid sitting there, and then he's also got the others inverting as well. When he gets the ball, they're all within 6 foot of him. He's got no bloody option. There was at one point today where he got that ball, looked over to the right, over to the left, in front of him, and then on his shoulder, and there was just nowhere to pass the bloody ball because everybody was there. I agree with what you're saying. He's better than what he's showing, but if you're that compact as a number 10...
But for me, this is where his game intelligence needs to get better and make space and go into the areas where he feels he's going to be effective. But it doesn't. It's too rigid in what Ange wants him to do. And I purposely watched him today, and the amount of times where I'm thinking, okay, you need to drop now in the middle of the park, centrally going forward and receive the ball, and he's not. He's staying high up left on side of the pitch, right? And he's when he does receive the ball, he's got loads of players around him, and he has to do something miraculous to get out of it or pass it off really quick. So I think, you know, you've got a good point, Dan. But at what point do we expect something more from him and a little bit more nous from in the way he plays the game?
I get what you mean. I do expect better from him because we know he has got more skill than that. And but shouldn't the other players also have the capability to know that they shouldn't be trying to hold his bloody hand?
Oh, absolutely.
It does work both ways. I just don't think he gets enough breathing space, but I don't think he also lives up to. He lacks consistency. Even if he did have his space, he still wouldn't be consistent, would he?
Yeah, Alex Scott in there saying, "Oh yeah, he's set up 2 goals in 2 games. You know, you're blind, blah blah blah." No, I don't think so, because he wouldn't get into any of the teams above us.
He should have had a hat trick today as well,
right? Yeah, and he should have had a hat trick today. He's not going to get in ahead of Odegaard in the Arsenal team, right? He's not going to get in Man City's team. So,
can I say
I'm not
something?
saying he's a bad player. I just don't think he's doing it for us.
I saw something in the stands which made me question Maddison today, right? I do agree it does get crowded with Spurs in the attack the way we're set up. I don't disagree. By the way, big up Cube. Good to have a Gooner on the show tonight. There was a moment in the game where Maddison pinged this fantastic ball across the pitch to the wide area to open it up for the attack, right? And I was like, wait, that's a ball. There's moments in the game where Maddison is deeper, where he can do that. And there was times in the transition where Maddison's got the ball. And you know that the Sun's second goal, which we'll get into, where Van der Ven, he just opened up and just rinsed the entire Everton team and just galloped through the middle. I know Maddison can't do that, but he can progress with the ball and quickly feed it. He doesn't do that enough for me. There was moments today because Everton at 2-0, they weren't low blocking. They were trying something, and it opened up for us on the counter. And this is where Maddison wasn't doing anything. And I'm just thinking, why aren't you playing these balls? They're there. The wide players were there. The forward runners were making the runs. Why aren't you playing it? And that'll be my criticism. I do agree with you though. High up, I do think it's congested for him. I do.
Dan, do you remember in the past when we had the conversation about Maddison, like he took too much time when it comes to passing instead of just crossing the ball? And finally, people are realizing like he's too slow.
Yeah, there's been. I mean, me and you spoke about it on the phone as well, didn't we? And we both agreed that there's plenty of times. It's like when he does a pass, he almost wants it to look sexy. You know what? I don't care if it looks sexy or not, mate. Just pass the fucking ball. Do you know what I mean? And he seems to think about it too much at times of how he can make the pass look special. Well, it's quite a simple pass. Just bloody do it. He's either too slow or he thinks too much was basically what I think me and Dietrich were talking about. And I agree. It does show with him at times.
Although it's not just Maddison. It's literally our entire midfield and forward line takes too long. They all take too long. They have no idea like where to pass the ball, and then they just end up passing it backward, or they just passing it back and forth. It's like
you can say that about the whole team.
Happens all the time. What's that?
I said you could probably say that about the whole team.
Yeah, she just said.
I was agreed.
Yeah, but I mean, I would argue that maybe like you wouldn't necessarily say that about like Romero. I think Romero's quicker, you know, in figuring out the pass, you know, and bringing it forward. But like, I think that if you're looking at our forward line and our midfielders, they're just have no idea where to take the ball. They're just constantly like looking around and like just always trying to go and pass it to the wide places and then cross it. That's literally, you know why we played better today is because we actually took shots from outside the box. I was like, thank God we actually took shots. We didn't just go in the wide areas, try to bring the ball down and then cross the ball across the box and do a tap in. Like it was like the first time that I don't even know how long, like that we actually didn't do that, and we finally tried to take shots on from outside the box and just shoot at the goal. It's like, wow, finally, how refreshing. Anyways, I can't stay, but I wanted to say that big up to, you know, the Sun haters in the chat. I see you, okay, because you guys come back every time. So FYI, guys, there will be a game this season again that Son will not score, and everybody will keep shitting on him again. And then there will be a game again that he will score, and then you guys will be all quiet again. Son
Who's
is
shitting on him,
he's
and
like
who's gone quiet?
He's
Oh, in the comments,
he
in the
literally
comments,
got racially abused by our own fans last game.
Again.
On
Again.
IG, he was literally racially abused by our own fans. People saying that they wanted to, in the international break, go to Korea and fucking nuke him.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a bit deep.
Like
Wow.
literally being racially abused. This is our club legend. Okay,
He's
so
not a legend.
you know what? He is
Okay.
no, he is club
No,
legend.
he's
And
not.
by the way, Dietrich, what are you even doing on this stream? Why are you on a Spurs stream? Aren't you supposed to be on Bayern stream? Where are you at? Where did is Bayern playing this weekend? Because I thought you're a Bayern fan. And
No, I've
anyways,
They play tomorrow, I think.
Well, so
Anyways,
he's now a Bayern fan just because he disagreed with you and said Son ain't a legend.
no, because
No.
he's been talking Bayern this entire time, and suddenly became a Bayern fan and followed Harry Kane over there.
Okay.
So, anyways, but
To
no.
be fair, he has got a Harry Kane picture as he's in. as he's in.
Yeah, but
You
in
know
a sweatshirt,
what?
in a
He actually
sweatshirt, right?
changed. Did you know he changed his picture to Harry Kane in a Bayern shirt
I know.
previously? So I was like, yeah.
Such a fraud, man.
Yeah.
Such a
But anyways,
It's called fishing.
there will be, there will be times when Sonny will not score. People will talk shit about him, but he is our legend. And honestly, you can disagree with that all you want, but there will be times that he will also save our asses. And then everybody will still criticize him, or they will just be quiet or something, but it'll come back around and they will racially abuse him again.
Imagine
And this is
being a
literally
bollocks,
this is literally
bollocks.
how
Stop
it's
using
been
that
happening
phrase.
for years. It's been happening this way for years. So
Look, he ain't going to get that stick on here or nothing like that, yeah? What people go and do on the other side of the planet ain't really nothing to do with us. We can't change that, yeah? But what he gets on here, he's grilled for when he screws it up.
wait, hold on.
And he also gets
was I
told
talking to
when he
you,
plays
Dan?
it good.
Literally,
Yeah.
was I talking to you? I'm not talking to you.
Should
I'm
with the
talking to, in general, people that are doing that.
on the
Why
chat.
are you getting all of that? I'm literally going on my soapbox talking about people who are doing that. I'm not talking about
Okay,
you.
fair enough. No, maybe I took that the wrong
Because
way.
I
I'll stand
saw
back.
it. I
No,
literally saw people
okay.
racially abusing him like a week ago.
Even Betancourt said something. I'm like, oh,
Like he literally was getting racially abused by our own fans on his IG a week ago.
and the teammates.
So I wasn't talking to you, was I, Dan? I'm just in general
Right.
talking about soapboxing right now about these people
Fair
that
enough.
are saying that, And there are a
So
couple
in
people in the chat. Not everybody that's criticizing. I'm not talking about everybody that's criticizing him or anything. I'm talking about there are a couple people in the chat who I know who have every single time, whenever Sonny, whatever, they're trying to talk about shit about him and racially abuse him. It happens every single fucking year. I know because I've been around for a while now.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
gonna.
seeing it for a while.
I swear it's gonna sound
So-
bad, but honestly,
Anyways,
like even if
I
he
just want to
gets,
say that Everton, very happy with the win, but
Mhm.
it covered things up. People are going to get really gassed, but just watch because Ange Ball will concede a shit ton of goals again, and we're going to be playing shit like shit again. Give us a good competitor, and we're going to play like shit. So hold this space. Don't get too gassed. And Romero is man of the match. He saved us again. He saved us so many times.
Van der Ven was better than Romero.
All right, I gotta go. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Cubed. Listen, Tottenham away. Everyone gets a voice. Everyone gets to speak.
By the way, guys
Can we
in
talk
the
about
comments. Sorry, wait, Dietrich. Guys in the comments, calm the fuck down, because like some of the stuff that's going on in the comments right now, it's like, you know, just because Cube doesn't have opinions doesn't mean she can talk about football. It's
Listen,
like,
if you want to attack Cube's opinions, attack her opinions. But if you're going to attack her personally, man, that's when it gets silly. And most of you are attacking her personally in the comments. So.
There's no need.
Romero, 71st minute, made it 3-0. Maddison cross from the corner. Listen,
That was a shit goal.
No, it wasn't.
how? No. How? No.
For that goal.
Explain it. How is that a shit goal?
What?
No, wait. The cross was beautiful. The header was poor. I'm sorry, but his name. No, wait. I'm not done. Pickford should be doing better. It's in front of him. I don't care who it was. It was in front of him. He should be saving that.
Okay. Dietrich. Right, here's the thing now. Right, I'm going to counter this. Last year, Romero was the top scoring centre in the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
I bet you he ends up top again this season. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Every 5 or 6 games he gets a goal. Maybe less.
He was a high scoring defender, not centre back. Defender. They repeated it on the coverage 3 times.
Literally, it's hard to remember any set pieces we score from. At least he puts himself up there. And you know something? I was taught this when coaching. Unless you take the shot or the header or then you never know if you're going to score. At least he got there and got his head on the ball.
No, I'm happy he scored, but the goal was shit. Like the keeper.
How is it shit?
No. Like it's like he legit just put the header in front of Pickford, and Pickford. I don't know why he's choosing.
I think you are nitpicking Dietrich. It's like
no. Pickford should be doing better. I'm just saying.
I mean, also the ball was.
But that's not Romero's fault. Romero got the ball on target. He did his job.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it was a better goalkeeper, it wouldn't be a goal.
I'm not sure because the ball was struck from like 3 meters away. Like, not many goalkeepers have like fast enough reflexes to put their hands up where they need to be. Right? It's like, listen. I get what you mean. Like, it went through Pickford's hands, if I remember correctly, right? But still, like, I don't know, to call a goal shit. I think the cross was beautiful. The header was powerful and on the target. I think, you know, I'm super happy that he actually got the goal, right? And by the way, again, our centre backs bailing us out. If it's not Poro, then it's fucking Van de Ven.
And there's one more. Not about the goal, but like one thing I didn't like. It took like, how many corners did we have this game? Like 6, 7?
Oh, it was like a 10th corner or something like that.
Yeah, 7 corners. It took 7 corners. One of them was like a real threat. It took 7.
Dietrich, we had against Leicester, we had like 12 corners in the whole game, or like 14
I
or
think
something.
9 was in the first half.
And none of them were of any danger. And we played like half of them short, which I absolutely hate.
I just rewatched Romero's goal, and there's no way he would have saved that. Dietrich. It was like from 2-3 yards out, quite a powerful header.
If you put Coley, he would save it. I know he would.
Good time.
By the way, I'm not arguing the corner stuff, right? I think our corner routines are fucking awful, right? Unless someone puts it literally on Romero's head, it's like.
Did you think Thomas Partey's goal for Arsenal today was shit, Dietrich?
I didn't watch the goal.
Go watch it and let me know, because he hit it from distance. Everyone said, "Oh, great strike," but the goalkeeper dived and should have parried it, and he messed it up, and it went in the net. And Martinez banged the ground straight away because he knew he screwed up. So I just think certain shots, certain headers, if you catch the goalie off guard, or if you catch the goalie a little bit cold, you know, that's part of it. That's part of the game, isn't it? I agree with Maz. 3 yards out. You've got like a split instinct second to try and get that right. Romero's in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, just there's a midget, so that's why he didn't.
Hold on. I do still need to go, but you know what? I just want to say I've been around on this channel for a very, very long time. It's been a while since I've been on, because I've been busy. But you know what? It's nice to see that this channel has, really, been really great ever since. But the chat, I see you, Lena Tuz, being xenophobic, talking about I don't know shit because I'm American. I see you, Ben Salah Youssef, saying that I'm a Sun fan, not a Tottenham fan, when you know nothing about me. Okay. I see you, Adam Philippe, calling me Hillary Clinton because I'm a woman. Like, I see you, Suleiman Akhalan, saying that because who is this woman? You know what? You literally proved me right that there are some fans, not all fans, but some people in our fan base who are xenophobic, racist, sexist. And I literally called them out, and I wasn't even directing at specific people, and you're literally doing it right now. So I just proved me right.
But you do have a soft spot for Son.
He's my favorite player, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that he's impenetrable to any criticism whatsoever. And it doesn't mean that just because I like Son that I'm not a Spurs fan.
I'm gonna put Philman on timeout.
Cube, do you know what? Just laugh it off. I get called paedophile, rapist, misogynist.
No, I know. I've been around for a while.
I get called every name under the sun, all because I say Ange Ball isn't going to work.
This is like it's been a while. I know it's been a while since I've been on, and you've had a woman on the channel. So I know that the chat is not used to it. I know the chat's not used to it because it's been a while since you've heard a voice of a woman, whether it be that you're talking to yourself with the recording and you're putting a synthesizer on it and whatever. It's been a while since you heard the voice of a woman. I get it. So, but hey,
I put Philman on
I didn't quite understand that.
On timeout for his last comment. Not cool.
Like I said when Cube left, if you're going to attack her opinion, attack her opinion. If you're going to attack her personally, then where are we going with this? I get it all the time as well. Sava gets it. It's
but everyone gets attacked personally. So, but everyone gets attacked personally. Like it should be like, you should be getting used to it.
It doesn't make it right, though, does it? Like, it doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but the fact that if you care and like you mention the names, then clearly means like it offended you. So, the best way, just ignore it.
No, I know. I'm just like you should call them out sometimes. It's times like I've been.
It's not worth it.
Like I've literally been like, had this like I've been in this space for a while and I've had this happen and I ignore a lot of times. But I'm just calling it out this time because I think that should be
Cube, do me a favor because I struggle to moderate and host. Send me a list of the names and then what I'll do after the show, I'll just block them. I'll just go after the show and just block them, and then they can't comment. The thing is that they set up fake accounts afterwards with new names, and they come again.
No, I will say this and I've come to the point, unless it gets really offensive, because I get it. Once the American talk, and over again, it almost comes to the point that it gets really tiresome. But if it goes really below the belt, depending on the mood, I'm gonna say something. And it's not going to be nice. So it's
Can we please talk about
we go to the match, just keep out with that. But one thing I will say to you, Mari, straight as, if I was to walk into America and start preaching to everybody about NFL, I'd have half the Americans turn around and tell me, what the hell were you on about? What would you know about it? It's just the way people do things. I ain't making nothing right. It's just the way some people bloody talk. So don't take nothing fucking personal in that. And let's just go back to the football, please. And that's everyone.
Let's talk about Brennan Johnson. Yeah.
Can we talk about Johnson? Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, please.
No. There's one more goal we've got to cover.
Okay.
Listen, like I said, I want to repeat it. Attack the opinion, not the person. Don't make it personal. That's the only thing.
Stelio's bald, so we can't attack the person.
You're a great help. Appreciate you. Great to have you on. Listen, if I replied to you, I'll bury you, but I don't want to go there.
Not tonight. The snooker's on.
On the 77th minute, Spurs made it 4-0, and Van de Ven basically picked up the ball, ran almost the entire length of the pitch. His turn of pace was absolutely frightening. Wiped everyone off the grid. And the best thing about it was when you needed that bit of composure, when you need that good decision making at the end, just did a simple thing and fed it into the best person to pass to, the guy to the left of him, fed it into Son, and then Son, bang, good finish to make it 4-0. Guys, the stats after that moment were 7 shots on target for Spurs, 1 for Everton. Our XG was 2.38. We surpassed our XG, touched in the opposition box, slightly above them, percentage domination, passing the final third domination. All the stats throughout was constant domination. That goal, right? It was interesting because Son got the second goal. It was a good finish by Son, but no one was looking at the finish because as soon as the goal went in, the whole stadium was singing na 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 na. Mickey Van der Ven. Van der Ven got all the plaudits for that goal. We said it last season, but he's not just a centre back. This guy is so important to us. He can carry the ball. He's got technical ability. He scores goals. His recovery is second to none in the league. We can't afford to lose this guy, can we? Like, we really can't afford to lose him.
Yeah, I think he's my favourite player in this current team. He's got everything, really. He's got a good shot on him as well. He can pass. He can dribble. He's the fastest player in the league. He's got physical presence about him. He reads the game really well. As you said, his recoveries are probably the best in the league. He's the only defender that can actually play Ange ball because he can run fast, back really quick. I'm just... Yeah, every time I think he's growing as a player. The more time he plays in the Premier League, the better and better he's getting for me.
What do you guys think of Mickey Van der Ven and what he basically...
Can
we cope without him? Are we screwed if he gets injured or if we sell him? Can Dragusin do what he does?
For Ange Ball, for the style that we play, he's hugely a point because he has that pace to go back and save us. You know, if it was any other defensive tactic or any other manager, I mean, he's still great, but it's just he is a point. We've got 2 inverted wing backs, coming in. It's a back too, and right. And remember that analogy that I did on a couple seasons back, right? Where it says, Romero's the dog, the aggressive one, and then you have the cat, the one that's back there. Well, both of them are dogs because we play a high line, but you get the point. So it's a perfect match in regards to what Ange is doing defensively, So VDV is very, very important in regards to how we play.
He's a freak, basically, and I mean that in a nice way. I keep saying it. He should be in the bloody Avengers or saying the way that man can run, that's not human, especially for a bloody defender. And without him, I don't see another defender on this planet that is capable of doing what he can do in covering the ground from the halfway line, basically. I'm not saying he is the best defender or the best tackler or whatever else, but what he is capable of, we cannot find another defender that can do that job specifically the way he does it, basically. And I just think he's only going to get better, and 2 years' time, there's going to be a big money offer for him. That's if he hasn't ripped his hamstrings to pieces, by the way Ange plays him.
We actually got lucky when he felt that he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
Got lucky.
And the chat knows, I was like, Goose is about to come on. I'm like, whoo, thank
I know people I'm going to say I don't know anything about football, but I'll just give my personal opinion on Van de Ven. I think he needs to work on his positioning and headers. Because those are the two of his weakest points. And as a defender, that is... I don't see you as a complete defender if you cannot head the ball or position yourself correctly. That's all I'm saying. And many times, if it wasn't for his pace, he just gets caught out way too many times on the left, and that leaves Romero by himself, 1-on-1 or 2-on-1. It depends.
Is that his fault or is that the system's fault?
No. If you play, I think it's his fault because if you play two center backs, you should stay next to your center back and not go left back.
You can't let a winger. You can't let a winger have a free run down the flanks.
You let him.
Yeah,
No,
it's a system because we always get caught short at the back, so it always ends up Van de Ven having to make a last sort of ditch effort to break their attack down.
I understand, but if you're only two defenders, you can follow your man, but you don't have to put a tackle. Just follow him and break up the play. And Van de Ven too many times just tries to tackle and then leaves Romero by himself or gets beat.
Yeah, I think you got a point, and like Ledley King was a master at doing that, right? He knew when to put a tackle in, hence why he was one of the best defenders I've personally ever seen. You're right though; he does need to improve it. I mean, we're not a very good aerial team, are we? Really, defensively, certainly.
That's our weak spots. That's Van de Ven's weakest spot as well in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
One of the best defenders.
yeah, you're right there.
Big up Anthony joining the chat, the show. How you doing, man? Hope you're well.
Hey guys, how's it going, Sal? Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, bro. Just a couple of super chats I've missed. I've just realised. Jamie says, "Thank you, Jamie, so much." Johnson is playing with no confidence. He's trash. The quicker Ange realises he made a mistake signing him, the faster we can grow as a team. We are going to come on to Johnson next, Jamie, so hold tight for that one. Eugene, big up to you as well. He says, "Will our forwards other than Son score?" It's a great question. I mean, we're going to find out is the answer. We don't know yet. I hope so. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. Look, I want to go a bit more into Van de Ven in a minute, but the game did finish 4-0, comfortable for Spurs. Dominated the possession, total shots, passes, clear-cut chances, 5 clear-cut chances. That's a lot compared to their 0. Corners, we had 12 compared to their 5. So, listen, Spurs dominated the result, the data, everything all adds up. But I want to get into a couple of players. Now, there's 2 that I want to discuss, maybe not so from a positive angle, and there's another 2 I want to discuss from a positive angle. So let's get it out of the way because this is one everyone's been talking about. Brennan Johnson, right? Now, when we signed him, within a couple of months, I said he's an absolute waste of money, £50 million. I saw enough to know, technically, intelligence-wise, what kind of player we've got here. Now, maybe he'll prove me wrong, and next year, the year after, this season, he'll come good. I don't think he is. I think it's an absolute joke that we spent £50 million on this guy. If you look at his heat map today, and you compare it to Odobert, Johnson definitely plays higher up. Odobert's more of a winger. You can see he's attacking the wide channel, whereas Johnson's just hanging up high. Now, whether he's told to do that or not, I don't know. But today, my God, man, he couldn't cross. He couldn't shoot. Some of the touches, he'd carry the ball off the pitch, misplacing passes. And you know what? You can see in his face, he doesn't feel that it's working. Like, he knows. Like, I've always said this, a player knows when they're playing shit. A player knows when it's not working. They know. He knows. I feel a little bit sorry for him because he played more of a centre forward at Nottingham Forest and has been told to play as a winger. Well, then you shouldn't have signed him if you're going to convert him into a different player. You sign him for a position he plays, play him in that position. But I don't understand how we are going to challenge for anything with this guy starting every freaking week and getting the minutes he's getting. Where are you guys at with Brennan Johnson? I've said it many a time and I'll say it again. I think he's bang average, man, and he doesn't get into any of the big 6 teams, not in a million years. And I've been consistent with him and Timo Werner. They're the 2 players I've always slated. And do you know what? I think more and more fans now are saying, actually, do you know what? I kind of feel the same now. I've been saying it for a year. Where are
Bang
you guys?
You're being nice. Sorry, bang average. You're being nice. Seriously, the fella is shit. Simple as that. The only time he beat his man today, and he managed to get it, and he managed to dribble it off the pitch. He's crap. He's absolute crap. I don't know who he's worse, him or Werner. I think they're on the same level.
I say Werner because at least Johnson scores his tap-ins. Werner misses the tap-ins. So
You know
it's not much difference.
You know it's when the commentators say your biggest weakness is touching. You know you're shit.
Is that what the commentator said?
I'm not even joking. I swear to God, he said Johnson needs to work on his touches. That's his biggest weakness.
Yeah, that's.
And
Guys, can you hear a noise?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know who's.
I think it's Anthony.
Background noise.
Anthony got someone in the background.
But it was so.
It's gone now. It's gone. So,
remember when,
was it a fan or something?
Yeah, it was probably a fan.
Sorry.
Yeah. Do you remember when Paul stroke? No, just passed him the ball like he missed the biggest touch.
Guys, he's in the wrong team. He doesn't belong. He would be perfect for a counter-attacking Conte side. He's got a skill, which is he's very good at like a dog chasing a bone. The problem is unlike a dog that knows how to bring the bone back to the master and give it to him, he just kind of keeps the bone and runs around with it and then drops it where it is and runs away from it. So he's actually the problem with him isn't that he's bang average. It's that he's way above average in like 2 out of the 10 components that it takes to make a good winger. And that's what keeps him attractive. He can occasionally do something no one else, outside of Vicky Van de Ven and Timo Werner can do, which is he can, chase down a lost cause, or he can occasionally, 1 time out of 20, make a really impressive athletic play. But whenever he has time to think or take his man on or play like a real solid, I know what I'm doing in the Premier League winger, he fails pretty much every time. I think bang average would be a guy that didn't have his athleticism, his speed in behind and stuff, and which he obviously chooses not to use every time. I can't stand the guy. I'm just simply saying, I don't even know if he's average. I think he's like way below average and then way above it in like a couple of small parts of soccer.
You're basically saying he's an athlete, not a football player.
Exactly.
And I agree with what you said about the dog chasing the bone. It's just, I think you got it a little bit wrong there. He's more like a dog chasing his bloody tail.
The problem is the NBC Peacock coverage. Like, he's known for his pace. On that one counter, he was getting rinsed by the Peacock coverage. He couldn't. On that counter, it died with him because he had space to outrun his man, beat his man, and it was just like, what are you doing there, Johnson? We could talk for hours of how bad Johnson is, but I'm gonna bring this a little bit to Ange, right? And this is where, for those fans who overhype Ange and put him legend status, a good manager can see, because we all can see, this kid has lost his confidence. This kid is like gone.
Well, he's not a kid.
Yeah. He's not. He's 22, 23.
Young player.
Yeah, young player. What Ange needs to do, honestly, is not what he does in the practice. Is say, hey, look, kid, I'm not going to start you. I'm gonna bring you off the bench.
Yep.
Maybe build, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes, maybe to build some confidence. Because right now, it's not working.
Mari,
I disagree. Why do we have to put him into some weird special measures, right?
You have to understand this. That's the elephant in the room. First of all, we don't have the depth. We bet you we don't have other players. I wish we had other players. This is on the team to have a starter over him. So
we do have other players. We have Kulu who can play on the right. We have Mikey Moore who can play on the right.
Kulu's but Mikey Moore, yeah. Kulu is horrible on my.
He's better than Johnson.
He's better than Johnson.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But
Murray.
here's the elephant in the room. We paid 50 million for this clown. We paid
Exactly.
50 million. You're literally going to put this clown on the bench and never play him.
Yeah.
Now, we could if there were two other players who were better than him, but
Murray.
I disagree with Anthony in terms of giving him 2 attributes out of 10.
Johnson is shit. The problem is we can't cancel his contract. That's number one. No one's gonna buy him. So it almost like, that's what I said, 10, 15 minutes. Maybe you can find a role as an impact sub. I'm just being nice.
Murray. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, mate. In through your nose, out through your mouth.
I said it on We Are Tottenham TV. I got 400 replies, all cussing my family, the dog that I don't have. They cussed everything about me. And I was right. I said he's a waste of money. 50 million down the drain.
This is where I don't think we should give him too much credit, right? Because
every club makes a bad signing once in a while. This is
Johnson, right? Yes, he's got pace, right? Yes, he's got stamina, but we never bought someone just to have pace and stamina. We bought them to be able to beat their man. We bought them to be able to cross. We bought them to be able to pass, shoot, create. And he doesn't do any of those things. He's a bad footballer. He's a bad footballer. We shouldn't defend him.
Do you remember Mari? Do you remember the one game he came in last year and he scored his goals off the bench? Do you remember that? Do you remember that one appearance that he had? He came in like the 70th minute and he nutmegged his man and scored and created a goal
against the bottom 10 team. Anthony,
I totally agree. I totally agree. I understand. I'm not defending the guy. I'm simply saying this is to Mari's point. I'm backing up what Mari said. He came in and literally one game out of 38, but he came in and single-handedly won us that one game. My point just being is that Mari is right. For putting aside the money, which I think Mari's going to have a heart attack if he keeps going down that road because he's right. And so I totally agree with you. But what I'm trying to say is at least that was one time where the camera was behind him on the NBC feed that we have. And it was real skillful. He took on his man, dipped his shoulder, boom, went past him, nutmegged him, did something. And it was all in 10 minutes. It was like this lightning flash. So my point is this wasn't out of nowhere. This was, he can be an impact sub. You don't spend 50 million on an impact sub. I couldn't agree with you more. This is a 15 million pound player that should be the last guy not to get cut on the team.
I'll say my last thing on Johnson, just to finish my point, and just to reiterate for the chat. You guys know.
Take care, everyone.
Dietrich, see you later. Take care. Have a good one.
See you later, mate. Take care. Safe flight home, man.
I reiterate, Johnson is not the person, but the player is hot garbage. And I had spent 2 days arguing on Twitter. People trying to convince me because of his GA, he was better than Liverpool. I was like, wait. Put down the crack pipe and yeah. He's
a better Mohamed Salah.
Yeah. So
you can have
our fan base is crazy. But what I'm trying to say is now, Mr. Ange, right? You get paid the money, right? To find some way to find one inkling of a solution, even if he's a 10-minute player, right? He comes in the 80th minute, finds something, right? Since you are Ange, right? The god of gods, right? Now we pay you. You're gonna have to find something, an ounce of something out of this player, because the other option is, man, we look bad if this guy never plays, and we paid 50 million for that. Damn, we got out.
You can have all the pace and all. You can have all the pace you want and all the stamina you want. How do I put this? But if you ain't got the tactics, you're never going to satisfy, are you? Basically,
He's
you've
a-
got to
he's a
have the
bad
tactics
footballer.
as well,
Yes.
and he ain't got the
He
tactics.
he
and
has
he only
shown
But
lasts
enough
5
instinct
minutes.
to
Technique,
over and
technique makes a
above
player.
what
Technique makes
Guys,
a player.
average wingers show.
Is there any way? Can I ask you something? This is from a guy who never played soccer before. I never kicked a ball. And my son plays elite level soccer. I never kicked a ball in my life, so I'm not making a joke. I'm actually being serious. Can you take a guy like that and say you were a wonderful football coach and work with him and say, all right, see this, what you do here, and show him game film. Like, I want you doing this instead. And like, is he work withable, or is it just, that's it? It's a wrap, kid. This is all you'll ever get, because he's done a couple things good a few times where even all of us can't say we've never gone, that was a good play from Johnson. Is there any way to take a guy? Because I've seen guys in the NBA not be great for 4 or 5 years and all of a sudden blossom into this incredible player. NFL football, same thing happens. They're like, okay, mediocre. They're on the bench. Then all of a sudden, 3rd, 4th year, bang, they like grow into this great player. Now every player comes in, hits the ground running.
To answer your question, not in the Big Six club. See, that's what frustrates me about this fan base. We are supposedly be a Big Six club. We are supposed to bring in ready-made talent. That's why he's a championship player, right? You develop that championship level or a bottom feeder team, maybe the Burnleys of the world. You're at a Big Six club, and we paid $50 million for that. You're not ready. We paid for that, and my worry is. Though we have less cameo, Odobert, for 20 minutes or so, whatsoever. My fear is we did the same thing again, but for a little bit less. That's my worry.
Look,
So by the way, it's
poor.
So is he's uncoachable? He can't get better. He can't change.
Yeah, I think that, and Stelios can correct me on this, right? But I think he's at the age where, like, he has a lot of habits that he. Like that, there are certain things that I don't think you can what's the saying in English? Teach an old dog new tricks or something.
Exactly.
I think he said that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's at the age where he can develop and learn, right? But I personally think that if you are 23, there are certain things you will excel at, and there are certain things that you are just trash at, right? And I think in our system, with what we require the winger to do, I don't think he has the ability to gain those skills anymore. I think, and it's not to say that I think Odobert will do it, right? But I think there is a higher chance that Odobert, we can develop him into a player that we want.
Today, he looked more like a winger
because he's 5 or 6 years younger than Johnson, right? I'm not saying this will happen, Dan. I'm just saying there is a higher possibility.
Right?
I think Johnson. I think Johnson is just a pacey player that can maybe tap in or finish. I think those are his skills, right? But the amount of those type of chances that he will get in our system is minuscule, right? I don't think we create chances where he can actually exploit his pace and run behind the defender and score in a one-on-one.
Why is Ange playing him then? Ange isn't stupid. I mean, he maybe not all are.
Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. The only person he seems to satisfy is Ange, and I don't see him doing it on the pitch. He's just.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I personally, if I were Ange, I wouldn't even consider him in the squad. I just don't think this guy suits what we need. I think we have better players for his position, and I think we have enough cover, right? Because someone raised the point that we don't have enough cover. I think we actually have enough bodies to cover his position, and I would much rather give Mikey more minutes and develop him into a player we want rather than seeing Johnson over and over. And how the fuck is this guy lasting 90 minutes, by the way?
No idea. That was baffling today. Why he didn't take Johnson off and substituted everyone else around him to instead of Johnson. And still, I'd like your opinion on this because obviously you coach young kids and stuff. So when I was younger and I was playing football, I had a lot of pace. I was fast, and if I couldn't dribble past the player in terms of using skills and tricks, I would think, right, well, I know I can't get past you using skills and tricks. I'm just going to knock the ball past you and run and outpace you.
Fail.
Right? Exactly. Right? And I was very effective at doing that. Wasn't good enough to make progress in football in terms of clubs and stuff. But hey ho, he doesn't even do that. There was in the last game against Leicester, he done a good tackle, turned around, started running, fell over the ball instead of just knocking. He had acres and acres of space to run into, and he chose not to do it.
No composure.
Surely, as a footballer, your instinct is run into the space, beat your man, get yourself into a position where you can make a pass, cross the ball, shoot. He doesn't do that. And if you're a winger or a forward, that's baffling. That should be your instinct. That's why you're in that position. And he doesn't do that. And that's why I think he's a bad footballer, because he's not doing he's going against that player's position's instincts.
What did he do at Forest? Like, what was he this bad at Forest? Like,
He's
just
more of a centre forward. He's more of like central.
really.
Yeah.
But he
So
doesn't. He doesn't even shoot.
Like a Liverpool, old, Firmino.
I personally think the stage is too big for him. I think he's come to a club where the pressure is higher, the expectation is greater, where the demands are more, and he just hasn't stepped up to the level.
Lucas Bergvall, who's 18, looks like he can handle the pressure much more than a guy who's 4 or 5 years older than him and has already been in the league for 3 or 4 years. I don't get it.
But I've always said this, that the bridge from youth football to adult football is the hardest, because going from kids football, even up to 21, you're a kid, to men's football, you never know what's going to happen. You just don't know, which is why I've never, ever, ever bigged up a kid, ever, until they play.
Vuskovic, Mikey Moore, blah, blah, blah. You never talk about that.
You don't know. Some players, look, this player's going to have a career in football. Like, I can see Mikey Moore is going to have a career in professional football. At what club and what level, I don't know. I think it'll be at a high level, but is that what's going to happen? I wouldn't put money on anything. With Johnson, I've seen this happen before. Like when Wilfried Zaha left Palace and went to Man United. It didn't work. Emil Heskey went to Liverpool. Didn't quite work. Darren Bent went from Charlton Athletic to Spurs. Didn't work. There are certain players, they've got to be in a certain environment, in a certain comfort zone to really thrive. I just think Brennan Johnson's come to a club where the stage is just too big for him. I don't think they profiled the psychology of the player, which was surprise. Spurs not profiling the psychology of the player.
Exactly.
And he's come to Spurs, and his two biggest weaknesses are, I do think he can dribble. I do think he's got it in him, but he doesn't. I don't think he's got the confidence to do it, and that has to come from him. You can't teach someone to be confident.
And a sports psychologist getting
comes from practice. But at 23, you're running out of time. And the other thing I'll say with Brennan Johnson is, the most important thing any footballer needs to have is to keep possession of the ball. Now, whether you do it on your own or whether you do it by pass and move with your player, whether it's forward, sideways, back, don't lose the ball. Because at any moment, any player is in a 1v1 battle with anyone. It could be a defender versus a centre back, a goalie versus an attacker, a goalie versus a wing back, a wide player, a wing back versus a wide player. At any moment, you will be in a 1v1 battle. And in that moment, you've got to decide, do I pass? Do I shield the ball? Do I take on the man? They call it 1v1 domination. Any player that is superb at that will always become really good. Iniesta, Xavi, masters at keeping the ball. Moussa Dembele, master. Brennan Johnson, I look at his 1v1 domination game and I think, how are you at a Big Six club, man? You're lacking. You really are lacking. And you got to teach that when they're young. So I don't think he's... Listen, when I say bang average, I mean bang average. I don't think he's shit. I just think this is not the level for you, man. He's not a Big Six club. He's not a Big Six club player. He's not.
I don't think he's that bad. I don't actually think he's that crap. I don't even think he's a bang average player. I think he's lower standard than bang average. He does nothing. The most he ever does, the best he got last season was, instead of turning up for 5 minutes in once every 5 or 6 games, he started turning up for 10 minutes every 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, but Dan, if you look at the stats, if you look at him last year against the bottom 10 teams, he actually performed. He got assists and goals and quite a lot. He did well. But that says to me, that is your level. That's why. This is where you need to operate. You need to be there. Can you make the leap to this? No.
I don't think
You haven't.
he's below average. He's a Nottingham Forest player through and through, and that's
that's the point, right?
That's
my point.
Lower
Yeah.
than the that's lower than the bottom half. Yeah, to me, that's bottom five.
Bale was a Southampton.
My original point where I said I put this blame, right? Because now, once again, Ange says, I say yes to the players to come in. I'm the one who signed off, right? I put it back on him that you brought a guy who, talent-wise, not big six. Psychologically wise, not ready. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And so this is the guy that we spent the Harry Kane money, part of the Harry Kane money, to bring in. It's on you, Ange. This signing is on you, right? You said it 3 or 4 times, and you still continue to put your foot in your mouth in regards to that. So you bring in the players, it's on you. It is on you, Ange. You
Mari, who would you start on? I'm being serious. I'm not challenging you. I agree with you. I'm saying if you're Ange, you get to coach. You win the contest, you get to coach next week. Who do you start on the right?
Not Johnson.
No, don't give me negative. I'm being serious. Give me who you would. I'm literally curious. I'm not mocking you. Who would you start? Literally,
we're playing Newcastle. Right at Newcastle, where we got pumped the last 2 times.
Yep.
And Solanke is not going to be there. You're going to have to play. You're going to have to play Son through the middle. You're going to have the new guy, Odobert. I do not want to see Timo Werner. And on the right, it's gonna have to be Kulu.
Yeah, needs must, right? It's like you have no choice.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be Kulu. I mean, if it was me, I would like, Johnson, you're third string. I'm gonna bring in Mikey Moore, to sub in for Kulu. I mean, seriously, I'm at that point.
But not at Newcastle is what you're saying. Not at St. James. I get you. You.
I think you're being too harsh on Kulu, Mari. I really do think you're being too harsh on him.
He has an occasional.
Yeah,
he's not too consistent for me.
He's not a winger.
He's not. And
good player, not a winger.
Everybody, I saw another show. Everybody's it was Barnaby talk about his processing. His process was so slow in some of the big games last year. I'm talking about Kulu. Me and Will Stewart, we were talking about it. It was driving me crazy. So occasionally, like today, right, because we play Everton, he will have a monster game. But when it comes with the Newcastle and Arsenals, I'm just gonna leave it at that. For me,
actually, like he's one of the few.
He's not consistent.
I agree. He's not consistent.
Yes, I agree with Saba. He's a sometimes player. He's not consistent enough.
He's at least he sometimes shows up in a big game. I know it doesn't happen often, right?
Guys, facts. We've beaten one team in the top 10 since December. One team in the top 10.
There you go.
We've won 5 games. We've won 5 games in the last 13. All those 5 are in the bottom 5. Facts. This team, these group of players against the top 10 are hugely underwhelming. The data, the stats, the last 10 months and this season so far all proves it. No ifs or buts. The only players that have stepped up in those games are Porro and Son.
Young and Son.
This is non-negotiable stuff. This isn't for debate. You can't argue the facts, right? Until these players can play against Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Villa, West Ham, Brighton, Man United, Newcastle, all these teams, West Ham. It means fuck all what we're saying right now, because we're having this conversation and we've just played Leicester and Everton. We've got Newcastle and Arsenal next. Let's see then who steps up. Let's see what Kulu does in those games.
Mikey Moore might have no fear.
Mikey Moore's not going to get the minutes, Anthony. I've told everyone. Again, he's not in the squad. I told everyone this was going to happen.
I wouldn't.
You did say this. I can't believe it.
I would never like throw in Mikey Moore from the start at St. James's. Like I don't think that's a good environment for a kid to get his
That's over Johnson. You asked me the question. If Johnson is not going to start, right, then I have no choice to put in Kulu. As much as I don't want to say dislike him, I just don't think he's good enough.
Like him on the right wing.
Against good teams, he's not good enough on the right. And then my second as a backup, I'm to the point.
As a backup, Mikey Moore.
Yeah, Mikey Moore and Johnson. He needs to like totally sit out.
Kulu never play on the left. Why can't we just have him play on the left? I mean, he's left-footed. Just like he can go and deliver across. Why is it so difficult? Like put him, flip him, so that at least he can be on his favorite foot on that wing, and then he can deliver crosses. He can do that.
Not a winger.
He beat his man.
He's not a winger. Full stop. He's an attacking midfield central.
No. I totally agree with you. But I'm saying if you're, I totally agree. I'm saying if you gun to your head and you have to play him at the wing, why have him invert? Why not say, all right, I don't want to play with the wing, but since I have to, I've been told by the club management, you have to. I'm going to play on the left. So all I want you to do is I just want you to get the cross in, even if you can't beat your man. God, who's the guy? I'm brain farting right now. Who's the guy that we just had? The Croatian guy, the older guy that we got with
Perisic.
Perisic. Sorry, just like he wouldn't have to beat his man. He wasn't fast. He wouldn't blow past his man. He would just get the pass off. I think Kulu has those same kind of talent where he could get a cross in, not because he blazed past his man with a trick, but just because he's strong enough that he would know when to deliver the cross. And since it's on his left foot, it'd be a good cross. Like I would think that would be a better use.
I get where you're going. He could definitely cross better from the left-hand side than he could the right-hand side. You see it today. He got down to the bottom of the pitch, looked up, and everyone knew he was going to step onto his left side. And the three defenders already had that side covered. Even though that side was totally open, he couldn't do it. But he's not the greatest crosser of the ball either to hook it in there, basically. True. And the way they want to play him is to invert him so he can have a clean shot and goal at times. And to do that, he's got to be on the opposite side, doesn't he? He
never takes this shot on goal. He doesn't even do that.
No, because he always has to put it onto his left foot. He's very, very, very one-footed. You know, he's like 99% that foot, 1% that foot.
Play him on the left so the 1 foot can at least, he doesn't have to cut in. He can just
but then if he did cut in, he wouldn't be able to have a shot.
What I like about
every shot
he'd
had to go out, basically. It's just down to tactics. But I say playing in the middle as a 10 or centre.
Totally agree. Couldn't agree more.
One thing that I really like about Kulu is that he causes the opposition team a lot of problems physically. And I think we lack that as a team.
Agreed.
So when he's not
holding the ball,
bullies, and other teams.
And he really bullies the defenders. And we're quite a soft team, apart from Romero. We're quite a soft team without him. I think Sava in the chat is saying, you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes he doesn't do anything. He's not a very good player. I think he's a good player. He might not take us to that next step or where we want to be, but then so is 3/4 of our squad probably isn't going to take us to that next step. I'm going to stick to the position I said at the start of last season. I think Kulu at the moment is the least of our worries. I think we've got a lot of other positions.
So Matt, to worry about him on the right wing instead of Johnson. I guess that's the $1 million question. Would you pluck Johnson out and say you're on the bench now, and then who takes it? Someone's got to play on the right wing. There's got to be a body there. What's the answer?
Honestly, I would rather see Porro or Spence on the right wing rather than
Porro all day long.
Or even Spence.
That's interesting.
I am so disillusioned with Johnson that I would actually rather see Spence than Johnson.
Yeah,
I know it's irrational, right? By the way,
no. Put him as the right back and put Porro up there, basically.
Yeah, Porro used to play.
We don't have a right back anyway. So
Porro used to play in an advanced position for Sporting.
Yeah, Porro does feel like a natural winger to me. He feels like that guy.
But I can't see Ange doing that.
Yeah, you're right.
But he should do it. So. That's what I would do.
This conversation shouldn't be happening, Maz. Right?
No,
we didn't sign players for the starting 11 that improves the wide areas, the number 6, the attack. We didn't go and do it. So now we're sitting here saying, "Right, who should we play right wing? Who can play him instead of Maddison when he's not playing well? Where's this this is why we never win anything. And then when people say, "Oh, just enjoy the win," fuck off. No, why? I will enjoy it when we win trophies and we're not having the same problems
When we're not a banter club anymore.
season. Every season, it's the same problems.
Or banter
Every
club.
game is.
Who would you play right wing?
Porro,
There isn't anyone. That's the answer. There's no
You
one
see
good
with-
enough.
You're right, Phil.
You
You're
see,
right.
with Porro, I reckon the thing is
No.
with Porro, who he reminds me of, obviously not in skill and out quality, but he reminds me of a Gareth Bale. Can cover the pace, can get up there, can do something in that. But when I personally think, when you're really going to see the most out of him, is when a manager sits there and said, like Redknapp did with Bale, and said, "Do you know what, boy? You ain't meant for this bit. Get up the other end of the pitch. That's where your pace is. You can cross the ball, you can pass
Spot on,
the ball,
Dan.
you
You're
can
an
get in the
attacker,
middle,
so
you
yeah.
can have a shot and everything." He reminds me a hell of a lot of what Gareth Bale was.
Let him off the
Just
fucking lead.
obviously, exactly, just obviously not on the same standards as
Spot
Bale,
on.
but exactly the same sort of situation.
There's a couple of super chats and messages I've missed here, so let me quickly jump through them. Elias, channel member 15 months, says Johnson is relying heavily on aid from Kulu and Porro, who both cover wide areas for him, and he only plays higher up, yet Johnson cannot cross. Sadly, no, he can't. Henry Fong TV, member for 16 months. Thank you, Henry Fong. Sava Football Heritage. Apparently, I'm Tottenham away plus. Yeah, some weirdo called VCon has called out Sava, thinking he's me. But good win. But let's not pretend this is. Let's not pretend this is a good game. Everton will pour. Can we do this against Newcastle? Arsenal? And this is what we're saying, right? This is the litmus test. We're going to find out. Tony Rodriguez, big up. Who in the panel are Ange out and why? I'll ask the question in just a minute because there's one more super chat from Sava. Thank you again, Sava. Still, when fans are debating a player's position, performance, ability, etc., for over 3 years, it shows that you are a meh. Top players don't get debated in these terms. We have too many. This is exactly what I was just saying.
Exactly what you just said. Yeah.
Same problem every single season. Who's Ange out, by the way? Anyone?
He's right on that borderline with me.
1, 2, 3.
I think he deserves.
But
till
I'm Ange
Christmas.
out, but I don't want him sacked.
Yeah,
because it needs to play out.
Oh man, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't want. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm Ange out, but I don't want him fired. I don't want him sacked. I agree with you.
Can you make sense of that? I don't understand. How do you want him out, but you don't want him sacked?
Tottenham logic to
Because
it.
I want him to die on his sword. Why? Because then the fans that bought into this Tottenham PR delusion, right, and parrot all of the opinions from the Happer Clapper channels, right, and defend everything he does, that they can be proved wrong again.
How do you die on your sword without being sacked, though, Maz?
I don't want him sacked prematurely. I want things to play out.
Oh, you want it to properly implode?
Prove himself how bad he is. He can
You want
show
a full
out.
implosion.
Over
And
30
and if he proves me wrong and he does well, then I will be his biggest advocate. But I have to see it.
Can we go on to another player, right? Because this one really bothered me, man. This genuinely bothered me, and I got a lot of pelts for it, but I don't care because I'm sick of people that talk absolute shit, and they're talking shit, and I'm happy to debate anyone on this, right? Odobert, right?
Look how handsome he is, still.
He's a good-looking young man. Ooh la la. Now, in the stadium around me, oh, he looks good. Oh, he looks lively. Yeah. And I'm hearing this, and I'm sitting there quietly. And I've learned at Spurs now, when I go, I take all my emotion. I take all my emotion out of the game. I don't get hyped up. I don't get super excited. If we score, I stand up, I clap. If it's a big game like Arsenal, then yeah, I'm going to be emotional. I'm going to lose it. But games like this, I have no emotion. I sit there and I observe, and I watch, and I analyze. And I watched him, and I watched it. I kept such a close eye on him because I wanted to see this guy, what he's about. And I did the same with Bergvall when he came on, and Archie Gray, by the way, because I haven't seen them play before live. And I watched him, and then even the people around me, like, he's good. Oh, look, he's better than Johnson. And I sat there and I said to myself, what has he done? What have you actually done? Now, he's quick going this way, quick going that way. He's very energetic. I want the ball. Give me the ball. I'm thinking, right, He wants the ball. He's energetic. He's lively.
Tries to take on a guy.
But so's a kid after you've given it lots of chocolate and sugar, right? So what has he actually done? And then I observed shots, chances created, crossing, dribbles, nothing. I saw nothing, guys. And I'm being honest with you. So I thought, is it just me? Am I looking to hate on this guy? Because sometimes maybe I get like that. And then everyone around was saying,
you do.
Really, everyone was saying, really, maybe I do. People were saying, really good performance. Yeah, good signing. I'm like, what's he done? Why is everyone being like this? What have you seen? Second half, he was shit. And he looked knackered. And Ange should have pulled him off much sooner. He just looked tired. So after the game, I went and looked at the data. Right? Again, goals, 0. Expected XG, super low. Assists, 0. Expected assists, super 0. Passing accuracy, really good. Key passes, 1. Crosses, 2. Both incomplete. Long ball passing accuracy, 0. Shots on target, 0. Shots off target, 1. Dribble attempts, 6. Successful dribbles, 2, which is a 33% dribble rate. Guys, I don't want to rock anyone's boat here. Those stats are worse than Werner. I'm just putting it out there. Off one game, those stats are worse than Timo Werner. Now, it's only one game, so I'm not judging the guy. I'm not saying he's shit. I'm not saying he's a waste of money. Why are people... Well, no, I'm just saying, why is everyone boosted him up after one game?
Didn't I say this yesterday? By the way, didn't I exactly say this yesterday on Sabbath Show that this is exactly what was going to happen?
And he knew
because it always does.
Yeah,
I think he done all right. He looked.
At what, Dan? Done all right at what?
The first 20
I think he looked comfortable on the ball and he was willing to try something. Whether he succeeded or not isn't what I'm saying.
You take on his man.
It was only 45 minutes and he looked like
66 minutes.
Possibly got the capability to actually take on a man with his feet, not just kick it past him and run past him. There looks like there is a little bit of potential there, but it is only 66 minutes. And I thought for his first run around for Spurs, he looked all right. He looked quite comfortable on the ball. I know he didn't succeed on much in what he did, but he was willing to try a couple of things instead of just look behind him and kick the ball back or just totally screw it up like Johnson did. I know he didn't really succeed in anything he did, but he looked like he was willing to try. And he also looks like he's got the confidence on his feet when we actually haven't got a player that is good on their feet. We haven't. We've only got players who could knock it past them and sprint past it. He actually looks like there's a possibility there that he could actually take a man on properly, not just sprint past him, basically. But did he get anything right? No. But for his first 66 minutes, I don't think he was that bad. His stats show he wasn't good, but he's willing to try it, basically.
Dan, right, this is George Akelia, 90,000 subscribers on YouTube, 20,000 subscribers on Twitter, right? I must say I was very impressed with Odobert, especially in the first half. Brilliant in taking on players. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
It wasn't.
But this is what I was hearing in the stadium, and this is what I came home to. And I'm looking online, and all the big accounts. It's like, you know, how many cheeks can I kiss? How many butts can I lick? And I'm saying, so I replied to these people. I say, good at what? What dribbles? Explain to me. Blocked. No reply. You hate Tottenham. Can you just answer the question?
They never
Listen,
can.
I'm not hating on him, man. He's 19. He needs at least 10 games before we can begin any kind of assessment on him. Okay? Same with Archie Gray. I've said, I don't know yet. I need to see him play 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
But the way people were waxing lyrical about this guy, man. Did I miss something? Tell me if I've missed something. Michael, am I hating? Am I hating this guy? Tell me.
No, I was just having a laugh, right? But you know, I just think so many of our fans are so far up in the Lululand where they think that they are so adamant on Johnson and Werner working. They are so far up their ass, right? But deep down, they know they are shit, right? So when they saw a better player, their brains go into an overdrive. They don't know how to feel about it, right? And it's like, fuck me, like I really love Johnson, I really love Werner, brilliant business by the club, right? And then you see Odobert, and he's slightly better at dribbling, slightly better at taking people on, right? And listen, I appreciate that. If I can upgrade somewhere, I'm willing to upgrade, right? Even if it's going from 1 to 3 on a scale of 0 to 10, it's still an upgrade, right? but
the stats are worse than Werner. But the stats are worse than Werner. So where's the upgrade?
But still, in the last week,
I don't know.
Where's the upgrade?
I'm gonna use
Dan's analogy from
where's the upgrade?
I'm gonna use Dan's analogy, I think, from last night's show. Basically, you have a 2, right? A woman, a 2. Yeah. A 4 comes along, and it's like, oh shit, she's a 9.
But
that's true. 4, but she's better than that 2. So now you feel that you got
Werner's a 5 in this scenario.
Yeah, but that's what we do. It's like I said, we make players out
confidence. Whereas Odobert he had that look in his eye that I'm not saying. By the way, I'm not.
I can't see his eyes from up in the stands.
When I watched him on television, he has that look of a player that looks like the type of player that would be confident and take on his man, like a Bukayo Saka or something. He had that look for an instant. Listen, I know it's insane. I'm simply saying, name another player on our team that has that. There are none. Timo Werner doesn't look. You don't say, "Ooh, that guy looks confident. He can beat his man." He looks petrified. So we get one player who, for the first 5-10 minutes, didn't look petrified and kind of went.
He did show confidence. I agree with you. He did show confidence. He wanted the ball. I give you that.
That's why you like Decky. It's the same type of thing. Any player that shows Romero, Van de Ven, any player, these are confident players. These are players that know that
they're quality players. They're proven it.
No, you're right. I'm not arguing for Odobert. I'm simply saying what Spurs fans are. We've been punished for so long that when we get a player that has this glimmer of hope, this like possibility that maybe he'll come good because he looked pretty good. Boom, we're all in.
Confidence. It's not even the possibility bit. It's the fact that a majority of Spurs supporters, like I said on Sava's show last night, is like with this Generation Z thing where they come up to you and say, like, yeah, you should buy me a drink because I'm a rated 10 in my looks. And that's what Spurs are like with the players. When actually, like, you look at her and you think, love, you already hit your brick wall twice. So it's... and the Spurs players are the same. They rate them up to be like a 10 when they're not even a 2 or 3. If they're that good, that is what we do as Spurs fans. We are known for it.
And we could have predicted this, right? We knew that no matter what happened with Odobert, all our fans are going to say he's great. It does the same thing with Gray and Bergvall last week, right? Before they came on, I said, don't worry. It doesn't matter what happens. Whatever happens, these same people are going to say he's great. Like people say he's class. He wasn't. There's no way you can tell me that Odobert was class, that he was excellent, anything like that, right? Like no way can you say that with a straight face. But we know that the fans will always do it, and that's what's even more for us. It doesn't matter what happens on the pitch. They're just going to say all the same comments, no matter
Levy
what.
has cast a spell over our fan base. It's unbelievable. He's a spellcrafter. Literally, this is witchcraft.
I thought Odobert had a reasonable debut. He didn't. He made one bad pass, I think, in the first half.
Yeah, across, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He put it right across the goal.
Yeah, but everyone loses possession, right?
Yeah,
everyone
exactly. Right. It looks like he's got pace. It looks like he's got a physical presence. I like the way that he's always looking to play the ball forward and try and take on the man. Everything else, we'll just have to see. Like you said, Stel, you've got to see him 10, 20 games and see what he's made of. You know,
this is my argument, Maz. I just want fans to say, right, I'm not going to make a judgment. I'm not going to make an assessment. I'm going to wait, and come December, I'll tell you what I think of the player. But what we do is they have one good first touch, or the ball comes down high and they trap the ball. Sick! What a player! What? What's going on? What? He controlled the ball. What he's been trained 10 years to do, like every professional footballer. What's going on? I'm just sitting there like, I don't get it.
He tied his shoes. Tied his shoes.
True. It is true.
He trapped
We
a
are
ball from
so-
honestly, the ball came high. He trapped it.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh,
whoa." Yeah.
you're supposed to trap a ball. You're a professional football player."
You sound like that Chris Rock bit. Yeah. You're supposed to. You're supposed to chop the ball.
Yeah, you're not supposed to go to jail.
Exactly. You ain't supposed to go to jail. Yeah.
I mean, it is so drama at Spurs, though. It is just drama in the aspects of, like you said, still, you're right. One player does one thing right or scores a tapping goal or whatever, and everyone can't wait to get home to sort it out. It's just shocking.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. When you actually ask the question, tell me.
funny.
Go on, sorry.
No, we're a fan base that has been so beaten down and for so many years, and we have this new stadium and these new kids, and we're just looking for this new manager with an Aussie accent. It's just like it's one thing to it's just this constant Stockholm syndrome hope. You know, it's one hope to another hope to another hope. It's like I said when I was on your show back in June, I looked you in the eye, everyone, and I said, we're not getting Eze. Everyone's like, oh no, Eze's going to come. It's just the Euros, or Eze's done. We're thinking about who will pair with him. I'm like, we're not getting Eze. You know that, right? You know we're not getting him. We never get the Ezes of the world. And it's Scott told me, Scott M literally. I texted Sav about this. I was like, I never put two and two together. The most obvious thing in the world. I feel like such an idiot, but I forgot. Everyone says, but Tottenham they spend as much. They were the third highest spenders in the league. Blah, 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 blah. And Scott said, yeah, we spend on players that'll come in for $120,000 a week or whatever. We'll spend big money, overpay for that player. We'll never play for a Dybala or an Osimhen or someone that maybe is even just a few mil more, 10, 15 mil more, but is $330,000 a week. So I didn't even put those two together. What a more fool me. But Scott, I want to thank you for that. I literally had not connected the dots in terms of because people go, Tottenham they spend. They're the fourth highest spender in the league for the last blah, blah, blah. And you were the one who said, yeah, we spend on a player that'll come in for $110,000 a week. That's the player that we spend on. Sure, we get those guys, but we don't spend on anyone that's going to actually break our wage structure. So, and it seems so obvious, and now I feel like such an idiot, but I never put that together. So the point is, Stel, is it just comes back to we are such a beaten down fan base that's been, and the reason why we're not beaten down the same way like Sunderland or these relegated teams or something like that. No, we're the most beaten down good team. We're the beaten down. We're the Sunderland of the good teams, if that makes sense. We're like the lowest good team. We're never bad. We always win more games than we lose. We're always around the top four. We even make a run.
We've been invited to the best party in town only because our second cousin is related to the person hosting the party.
Exactly. It's exactly. You're not even supposed to be there, but you somehow are, and it ain't going to be that fun because you're not at the party you're supposed to be at, but you are there. It's crazy.
And by the way, because we've been talking a lot about transfers, even right in the previous shows, and just to back what Anthony just said, right? Because we apparently were interested in Tony, and I can bet you that we wanted to get Tony, but he just asked for two big wages. It's never been stated anywhere, but I mean, it's been stated that Tony wanted something like 350K or 300K a week, right? And I can bet you this is the reason why we didn't sign him, because I see no other reason as to why we didn't pay like 40 to 50 million for him. I don't think
Do you think his age
transfer fee is an issue?
The age was a problem, Michael.
But I honestly think if he wanted to come for like 150K a week or something, I think he would have been our player. And I think that's why they went for Solanke, who was the second English striker in the ranking that they had, right? That's what I've been arguing about Solanke, right? Because it was like, yeah, Solanke was the second target, yeah, because the first target demanded too much wages, and this is
Solanke is Darren Bent 2.0.
I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, I hope not.
Darren Bent 2.0. Mark my
lay off.
Here.
He can't be that bad, can he? Seriously?
You'll see. You'll be shocked. Guaranteed.
I won't be shocked. I said he's only had one good season in 5 years. He didn't work out at Chelsea, didn't work out at Liverpool. He's got a lot to prove, but because he had a good season last year, this is exactly what happened with Darren Bent. He had one really good season at
That's
Charlton.
what I
He
mean.
came.
That's why I said it. Yep. He's a Darren Bent 2.0.
Listen, we'll see with Solanke. I mean, the
Yeah,
fact
let's
I hope
he's
I'm
keep
wrong,
it
by the
more
way.
there.
I hope I'm wrong. I love Tottenham. I'd rather be wrong and have egg on my face than people mocking me. I want that. I would much rather we won and I was made a joke. I hope that we signed Eze on the last day of the transfer window and people go, ha ha, look at you, you idiot. You thought you were talking the big and now look at you. I want that. I want egg all over my face. But it never was going to happen. It won't happen. We won't get Eze and Solanke is dog shit. Mark my words. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, look, we talked about
that phrase with that all over my face.
try not to picture it.
Try not to picture it.
We spoke about Johnson, spoke about Odobert.
Speaking of dog shit.
We did cover him. I do want to say very quickly because we did speak about him earlier, but because I want to end this on two players I thought that were really good today. I thought Son and Van der Ven today they were the two best players for me on the pitch.
How about Bissouma?
I think he was good. As much,
I thought him and Romero
solid.
I thought they were the two best players. Do you think Bissouma was better than Van der Ven or Son today?
No.
Bissouma was man of the match. He had a few loose passes, but come on, overall, that guy had more effective on the game on the whole entire game than anyone else. He was man of the match by far.
He seemed a lot more progressive than he was in previous games. I noticed that.
Can I ask you a
I think
question?
Kulusevski had a better game than he did. He just didn't score.
Where Bissouma, did he play in the 6 or the 8 today?
Playing the 6. But he was pinging those passes that you say Bissouma doesn't do this. Bissouma's not capable of pinging a pass. Guess what? Today he pinged lots of passes. I was like, holy crap, is this the same Bissouma that allegedly couldn't pick? And I'm not dogging anyone for saying that. I'm simply saying he was like a new guy today. He was pinging passes left and right, getting on the ball, calling for it. Forget the goal. I'm not saying it's just because of the goal. That was the cherry on the cake. But he was a different Bissouma today, and he was the good Bissouma. Today he was like the Bissouma that we wanted to get from Brighton. Today he was that guy, and 100% he was in the 6.
By the way, I agree, but I just want to caveat it with one thing. I personally think that Everton were so far back, and they had so little threat that I think he didn't really need to play the defensive side of the number 6 role. I think all he had to do today was just spray the passes around, dribble with the ball, appear in front of the penalty box, which is, by the way, what I think he's best at, right? Plenty of us here have already made an argument that he's a better 8 than he is a 6, right? And I think even though he was technically a 6 today, right, because he had Maddison and Kulusevski in front of him, I think that he played pretty much like an 8, right? And that's why I think he looked good. I think if you were playing against a better team who can catch us on a break with more quality, I think his defensive side of the game would be exposed again, right? So that's why I personally wouldn't go with that midfield against Newcastle, because I still don't trust Bissouma defensively.
So
I still think Bissouma.
Who would play the 6 for you against Newcastle? I'm not challenging. I'm literally asking.
I think if Bentancur is okay, because from what I gathered from Ange, I think he said that Bentancur, everything is okay with him, but the concussion protocol forbid him from playing today, right? So I think if Bentancur is okay, I would rather see Bentancur as a 6, and Maddison and Kulusevski as a pair I'm fine with, right? I think Bissouma is too
erratic,
or even too offensively minded, and too he's lacking defensively, in my opinion.
Not a 6.
The issue is our entire defense, other than 4 or 5 corners, and our entire midfield came under literally no pressure the whole game. Everton, for me, just sitting there watching the game,
they're like a pub
worst teams I've seen play Spurs.
Really?
No way. I said this would happen as well. I predicted last night on Savage Show would win 3-0. I think I said 3-0, 3-1 that we concede. I think most fans felt. I mean, there's a couple of fans said, "Watch us draw," because but Everton. Do you know what? Actually, talking about Everton, I want to bring up the league table. There's some results today that I was surprised by. Let's get the matches up. Oops. Where were the games today? Here we go. So Brighton beat Man United. I predicted this was going to happen. West Ham beat Palace. I was surprised by this.
Yeah.
Man City destroying Ipswich Town. No surprise. Arsenal Villa. Listen. Let's talk about these games quickly, right? Brighton versus Man United. Guys, Brighton. They've had a really good transfer window.
They're scary.
That's
European football. Right? They've got no European football. Sorry, Murray?
That's Stefan's dark horse for top 4. Brighton.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys this. They're definitely going to challenge for top 6 unless they have major injuries, especially with no Europe. And all the teams around them have
the new Aston Villa. They're what Aston Villa was last year. No one will take them seriously until they realize, holy crap, this team is better than we thought. They're not losing.
Yeah, because I watched a bit of the game of the Man United game because they're playing it at the stadium, so I got to watch the second half. And I thought Man United didn't play that great, but I thought Brighton, they're on it. Like they go for it. And I thought, you know what? Okay, they beat Everton 3-0 at Goodison Park. Big deal. We know Everton's shit. But Man United aren't rubbish. They're not a crap football team. Do we are Brighton competition for us this year? Like genuine, real competition?
Yeah, I think they are. But to be honest, West Ham. West Ham got a good result today as well.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But with Brighton, one thing I want to say with Brighton, right? This was just the second game of their new manager. I want to see him challenged more. With as much as I agree that United are a good team, I want to see them when they are actually like challenged tactically or challenged with, because everyone is fit, like it's working for them. They played against Everton, good vibes and shit, right? I want to see them. I want to see how this manager reacts, right? Before I make a statement like they are challenging for top 4 or top 6, right? Because I think squad quality wise, they are a bit of like an unknown for me. There is a lot of like good players, but young ones that, you know, people all the like people rave about, but they are not like proven quality players, right?
No Europe is huge though. No Europe.
No Europe is huge for them,
worth
right?
5 wins in my opinion, just by itself. No Europe.
But I want to see more from them. 2 games is not enough for me to make like such a grand statement that they will finish top 4.
How about Danny Welbeck, man? This guy, 33 years old, playing like he's
always been talented. He's always been a kind of frightening player.
He always scores against Man United, man.
Yeah.
But last week, I should have had 2, right? But one was off. I think it was offsides.
Yeah.
He's a genuine article.
Don't forget, he won a league title with Man United. He's got something about him, right? Alex Ferguson wouldn't have kept him there if he was a complete shite, I guess.
Agreed.
I think Brighton's a team that if you're not playing well, they'll hurt you. But if the top teams are at their best, I think they will beat Brighton. Brighton has a level that they can get to, and I think that's a level below the top teams. But if you don't show up, they have enough quality, and they look like a team that are threatening enough that they will beat you. You can't. It's not a team that you can coast through, and I think they'll be probably in the running, for that kind of 5, 6, 7, 8 position. I think obviously, I think most people agree City and City and Arsenal are above everyone else. And then I think there's nobody else that's really that strong. I think Liverpool is still, but they have questions with the new manager. But after that, I don't think there's anyone who I would convincingly say for
Aston Villa today.
Unlucky.
Aston Villa today, they should have been 2-0 up, and Ollie Watkins, I couldn't believe the chances he missed. Like, it's unbelievable.
That Raya save after the crossbar. How the fuck did he get to that? I have no clue. And it wasn't a bad strike by Watkins, because many people against Watkins. It was like across the goal, like, you know, low down, low, so that he couldn't.
But Arsenal did well though. They got their goals. You know, they're the real deal this season. It's definitely going to be Arsenal, and we're going to play them soon, so we're going to know how
Did
good we
Arsenal
are.
win that game because they took their chances and Villa missed theirs? Is that was it?
Yes.
Or did Arsenal deserve to win that game? Did Arsenal deserve? To
I
beat
didn't
them?
see the whole game.
Villa missed their chances at that first half. I
Yeah,
mean, I
so-
can't believe Watkins scuffed that.
If they
tackle.
score one of those goals, it's a different game. But it doesn't matter. The fact is that they went to Villa Park and in a really big game came away with a clean sheet, and that's sorry, but facts speak for louder than anything else. You know.
Do you know what? Trossard is everything. All our wide players are. He's everything our wide players
You
are.
had to say Trossard still.
Trossard, yeah. The first thing I said when Trossard scored is just like, this guy was coming to Spurs. And
God, nothing more than that. Oh my God.
And he went to Arsenal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Trossard is so important.
They don't even need him, and they have it.
The game itself, by the way, I think like for the first 60 minutes there were like one or two chances by Arsenal, but I think Villa were really on top of them. But they just didn't convert. Like I kid you not, like watch some highlights there, right? The amount of chances and the quality of chances they missed, it was fucking horrific. Like I kid you not, Watkins was basically like
I saw
one-on-one with an open goal. It's like it's ridiculous. I watched the whole game.
That's what happens
right?
when you're nervous. But, Arsenal are not nervous.
Then the issue with Arsenal this season is right. They didn't convert the chances. Then Arsenal scored 1-0 and it was done. Like the game was over. As soon as Trossard scored.
But that just shows what a quality team they are, Michael, don't you think?
That's my point, right? That they rode the wave. Yeah. They were a bit lucky, not gonna lie. But as soon as they scored the goal, game is over.
Done. Yep, you knew that was it.
Nothing
But the thing about Villa is everybody said, okay, they lost Douglas Luiz. You know, they're going to be hurting. That kid Rogers today, he's a man beast. Yeah. He was bossing up Partey. Peacock coverage was like, wow, Rogers is playing a real game. I don't know much about Rogers, but he played very good today. He was a very point play for Villa.
But it just, Watkins showed. I mean, it's Villa, and he was nervous, and they had that kind of like, are we supposed to be here? Sort of like mentality. Whereas Arsenal looks like, they know they're supposed to be here, and they're loaded for bear. I mean, that team, they're terrifying. I think, and not terrifying because they're so loaded with talent. That's not really what I mean. I mean, they're a team. They feel like a team to me. And Arsenal hasn't felt like a team since they were very, very good under Wenger. And now they're getting that they're a team feeling. That's what I mean. I don't mean they have like Kevin De Bruyne and all these like incredible superstars. I just mean there's a togetherness that I hate to say it. This makes me, I want to vomit, but they're a team. And that's what scares me about it.
No, I think you just hit the nail on the head. It's true. It's true what you're saying. If you go and get a good team and play them all the right way to the right formation and get them all working together, you're turning them into an excellent team. You're right.
Yeah, but Dan, they've also done well in the transfer market. They don't do shit like Martinelli.
No, I know that.
Martinelli was crap today. Fine. On comes Trossard.
Yep, exactly.
Odobert or Johnson shit. Right. Werner, warm up. Archie Gray, 17 years old, warm up. That's what we're dealing with.
But he's right on what he's saying. They are a very complete team as such. Like I've said before, you can have the best set of players on the planet out there, but if they don't work as a team or play to their advantages, they can look bang average. Arsenal look like a solid team, and obviously they've got good players. And Arteta, you can't really grill him too hard because he's actually got it working. He just has to win something.
And also, if I can add to that, right? I think what we are watching right now is like reaping was the saying, reaping the fruits of labor, right?
Yeah.
I think what they went through with those like 2 8th place finishes and bottling 4th to us, whatever, right? I think throughout those 3 years they gave all these young players so much experience that like 22-year-old Saka has like 200 Premier League games or 250 Premier League games, right? Like 24-year-old Odegaard has like 250 professional games, right? And even though they are still young, energetic, they are not getting many injuries. They have squad depth, but they also have shitloads of experience when you look at that team. like Declan Rice, he's 24 or 25. He's won a European Cup. He's played shitloads of games in West Ham and Arsenal, right? And I think that's what basically that's we laughed at them, but that's basically
Michael, at the same time
that's project you've done right, in my opinion. I know they haven't won yet, and I'm not saying they will, but they are as close as you can get to winning with a project youth. That's the way I look at it, right?
But,
there may be shortcomings with the manager. Money spent. I know.
No. We spent money. The caveat is they don't sign Veliz, Solomon, Werner. So like, they don't do that.
That's my point. They signed youngsters and they actually developed them and gave them time. They aren't signing 40 youngsters and expecting all of them to develop, right? They signed a couple of them.
But they also
just gave them.
But they signed Thomas Partey. They signed Thomas Partey to protect the back four and Declan Rice. We signed Archie Gray and fucking Pape Sarr. They're not going to get that.
Don't forget Timo Werner. We signed him too.
Yeah,
twice.
I think they actually signed far better players than us.
Yeah.
Calafiori.
Martinelli came out of nowhere.
Like a prime example still is Arsenal aren't signing Odobert. They wouldn't sign him.
Yeah, right. They wouldn't sign. They wouldn't sign Brennan Johnson either. Never, ever, ever, ever would they sign a player like that. And they wouldn't sign Solanke. Solanke wasn't injured at all for Bournemouth last year. He comes to us, bang, he's out for multiple games. Not that that's even a bad thing, but I'm saying like it's incredible. We sign the wrong players and they get injured. They sign the right players and they never get hurt.
I mean, he's injured because he got kicked in the ankle, right? That's not like his
no,
fault.
I know. I mean,
like,
it's not his fault. I'm just saying. It's not. I know. No, I get it. It's not the player's fault he's injured. I'm just saying one of they had a Bournemouth fan on. And they said, "Oh, the one great thing about him, he won't miss a game. He'll be there every game." As soon as I heard that, I was like, "That's him done. That's him done."
Sorry, Paul. If Archie Gray's as good as you're trying to make out, why doesn't he start against Leicester? Why doesn't he start against Everton, which are two of the shittest teams in the league? If he can't start against these teams, right? So what you're doing here is the classic. Rather than waiting and seeing what Archie Gray turns into and then deciding, you're going in and saying, "Oh my God, still Archie Gray." You're saying he's not good. Calafiori is good because he played a whole season.
Never said that.
Football. Not you. To Paul. And Calafiori played in the Euros for his country. Was one of Italy's best players. So
still,
that's why
the thing is, you don't even need to justify it, right? And the reason why I'm interrupting,
because I need to expose these types of fans. That's what I do.
But we've never said these are bad players. We just said they're unproven and they're young. We've never said Gray's bad. We've never said Bergvall's bad.
Yeah.
Right. We've never said Odobert is bad. Crap. Right. We're just saying that they're not at the level that we.
We're not bringing in ready-made players like a Declan Rice or Thomas Partey. That's the point.
All we know, in the next 10 games, Gray and Bergvall might be the next hottest thing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Maz, I'm sick of hearing as well. Arteta, he's had 5-6 years. Ange isn't here for 5-6 years, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, he's gone by November.
Right. So
he won't be here for 5-6 months.
Oh, come on, Maz. No, that's too deep. It'll at least last till January.
Let's see in the first 10 games. If it goes the way I think it's going to go, it's going to be another Ramos situation.
Yep.
Oh, what, like a proper baked potato? See you later.
I'd take Harry Redknapp now. I think you'd get these guys playing.
We've drawn one game, 1-1. What's our next 5 games still? I'd bring them up before we close.
Newcastle away.
Let me quickly read the super chat. Football Heritage says, "Still, we talked about midfield engines. Partey, Rice, Odegaard is a perfect combination, and they all complement each other. We sign kids levels." I agree. That's exactly my point. The next couple of games, let's have a look. Hold on. See, do you know what manager I want? I just want a manager who doesn't
O'Neill. That's right.
Honestly, Anthony, I tell you what I want. I want a manager who doesn't accept mediocre signings.
That was Conte. We had one.
I mean, we had 2 of them.
Conte. We had
we had 2 of them. They threw a fucking grenade and blew themselves up, right? I'm not saying that's a bad thing, right? But it's just like
We had
this
Antonio
stuff is
Conte.
fucking.
He is that manager that doesn't accept
Do you-
mediocrity, and look how that worked out.
Do you want a
I-
manager that doesn't accept mediocrity or doesn't pick mediocrity?
I'm looking at those games and I'm thinking we may pick up 3
Oh,
points, 4 points.
Oh God!
Newcastle away is
I think
Arsenal's killer. I think
you
we beat
guys are
Brentford.
going.
We are.
I
Man
think you
United
guys
away.
are too pessimistic.
I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. Brighton.
Michael,
are a
Michael.
team.
Oh, no, hold on.
West
No, let's
Ham.
do this, guys. Let's do this. Let's do this, right? So, Michael, I like this.
Yeah.
This is good. There's 16. There's 6 games there. Which ones are we winning?
West Ham at home. I think we are winning.
Yeah.
Brentford at home. I think we are winning. That's 6 already.
For
6
me-
points
I'd say-
out of.
I'm picking at 3 or 4 points. That's what I'm picking at, right? And I think we.
That's
at
no different to
least
us.
Can,
That's what I just said.
no, must set 3 or 4 points. I'm saying at least like 7 or 8, in my opinion.
Okay,
That's why I'm
so
saying.
where are these points coming from? So we're going to be.
I told you,
West
West Ham and Brentford, that's 6 points. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
we can draw 2 out of 4 games from that list.
You think we're drawing a
Draw.
Brighton or at Old Trafford?
Yeah, like Brighton away, let's call it, and I don't know, Manchester United away. Like United aren't that good, guys. It's like
This is
No.
against us. They're playing Tottenham.
We
They-
aren't.
Yeah,
we drew and beat them last season.
I'm
And
not too bothered
not much
about
has
Man
changed
U.
about them.
We're at
It's
Old
like-
Trafford.
I'm more
They're
bothered
here.
about West Ham
Yeah, we drew.
than
Yeah,
Man
we drew.
Yeah,
U.
we did draw with them. Yeah, we did draw with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
I'm more.
yeah. Sorry, Dan. All I'm
That's
saying that it's. I don't think it's as bad as people say. I'm not saying 18 points, right? Keep in mind, I'm not saying 18 points. We are going to, bend Arsenal over and fuck them 4-0 or something like that. I'm not saying that, right? All I'm saying is, I think it's not as bad as people say, right? We are not
No.
that shit.
Again,
What's the
one
maximum
win-
think
possible
there's 2
points,
games there we
Michael,
can
out
win.
of those
7
games?
or 8,
Brentford-
Mark. 7 or 8.
No,
maximum.
but the maximum, if you won all the games, how many points is there?
18.
18.
Right.
18.
And you're saying we're going to get 7 points, and we think that is not
7 or
that
8.
bad. That is awful for what we want to do.
Exactly.
I
We're
mean,
a top team.
So
I mean,
I think you're
I'm
being
being
very
realistic.
negative against Spurs.
I'm being realistic.
Right. So this is where when people come for me and say, "Come on, still get real," and all this. This is where I put my foot down and say no. Right? Not you, Michael. I'm talking in general.
Yeah,
Could be
yeah.
social, YouTube, match, whatever. Our biggest problem last season, and everything backs it up. We really didn't do well against the top 10 teams that Savas put there. Right,
No,
against
we
the top 10 teams. Now, the next 6 games, 5 of them are top 10 teams.
Exactly.
If we don't pick up significant points against them, nothing has improved. And this isn't me sharing an opinion. This isn't me saying
and
I think the
Brentford.
moon is made of cheese and I can't back it up. No, I'm backing it up.
Brighton and Brentford were in top 10 teams, by the way.
And that's where I'm getting the 4 points from. So I think
the
we'll beat
Brighton
Brentford
season.
and draw against
Brighton
and
13th,
draw against Brighton.
11th, something like that.
Okay, fine enough. So
Brentford
4
were like
fair enough,
15th
Michael.
or 16th.
Yeah,
right?
so I don't
Michael,
see
fair enough.
I think
Fair
7
enough.
points at the most. At like
That's
the
my
top
point. Like,
level.
guys,
We didn't
we are getting the
So
most.
therefore, Michael, we have got to beat Brighton because they're a bottom 10 team.
Yeah.
So that has to be beaten.
No.
But you
My
know
point
that's
is-
not what's going to happen.
Wait, Stelios, my point is.
No.
Wait,
If
no,
they're not
just
top
let
10
me
teams,
explain.
back,
Let me
Italy,
explain,
he's
let me
back.
explain. We are getting smashed at St. James's. We are getting smashed by Arsenal. That's my point, right?
I agree.
I think we can. We might lose to Brighton, but it's not like it's undoable.
So you're
to
agreeing
go
with
and
me
draw.
now?
I'm not-
You've just done a 180, bro.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not agreeing.
We're
with
going to get
you to
smashed at
points.
St James's. We're going to lose to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think we lose to Brighton. What
No,
have I just said?
I
You
said.
might
I
lose
said.
to Brighton.
I said it is possible to draw there, right?
Okay.
I think we are smashing
We
Brentford.
have a puncher's
at home.
chance against Brighton.
We are winning. We are winning against West Ham. That's just my opinion.
West
right?
Ham's
I
going
don't
to be
think
hard.
West Ham-
West Ham beat us
I'm not.
last year.
I'm not saying it's. Stelios, yes, they beat us. Like, watch the game again. Like, it's not like we had
They're,
no
they're
chance.
better this year.
Yeah.
Starting
They've bought better players.
fuck's
West
sake.
Ham ain't
Okay.
going to be easy,
Yeah,
and they
West Ham's had a
always
hell of a
perk
better
it up
lineup
to
than we
play
have.
against us. They always
Michael,
do.
listen, I'm challenging you. Don't crumble.
I'm not cramming. I'm giving you my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. right?
But I want you to back it up based on what? Where is this coming from? That's what I want to know. You're doing what the fans did today. Odobert, did you see the way he trapped the ball? He's like Messi. That's what you're doing.
No.
Back it up.
Hold on.
We love you, Michael.
Don't have it, Mike. Don't have none of it, mate.
That's based on me watching those teams, right? I've watched every single one of those teams, right? And I think, based on what I've seen from us and from them, I think we can beat Brentford and West Ham at home, right? I agree. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. That's 6 points in my opinion. And I think we can go to Old Trafford or go to the Amex, right? Whatever the stadium is called. And I think we can get a draw. I'm not saying we are going to smash them. I'm not saying it's not going to be hard. That's my opinion. That's what I think, right?
You know,
so out of 18 points, I think we are capable of getting 7 to 8, right? And that's not me saying NLD, North London Derby, it's always like, a game, everyone can win in the North London Derby. No, I think we are getting fucked by Arsenal, right? For the third time in a row.
Michael, right? So this is my concern, okay? And by the way, Danny D, if you're bored of negativity, you are choosing to submerge yourself in the negativity you're complaining about. That's on you, right? If you don't like it, Chris Cowlin, he's happy to tell you whatever you want to hear and have a really fake positive conversation. Bye-bye. Have fun. But my point is, I don't care. So this is my concern. Okay,
drugs are bad.
As soon as Leicester slightly turned the heat on us, we were all over the place. That's Leicester. Today, Everton did nothing. They got 4 or 5 corners in a row, and it got a little bit shaky at the back.
Yeah, got a little bit shaky.
These teams, other than Brentford, all of them are going to turn the heat on us a heck of a lot more. My concern is, we don't know how to deal with it. I think we'll score goals because I think Son's got goals in him. I'm sure Johnson's going to score a tap in. Maddison will get one at some point. I'm not worried about the goal. Defensively, these teams scare the hell out of me, except for Brentford.
Not going to Old Trafford. Did I say we are not going to concede? No. Did I say we are not going to concede? No. Right? Did I say it's going to be
easy? No, you didn't say that.
Right?
It's true. You didn't say that.
Yeah. No, you just called me really negative. You say I've been too pessimistic.
You are the negative. Sorry, you are the negative one, Mas.
Look, I'm not saying that we're going to lose all our games. I'm just saying that we're going to get 4 points. So we might draw against Brentford. We might draw against Brighton.
West Ham might be the one that gets us
did to us. Can you imagine what Danny Welbeck would do to us in Brighton? I mean, if Arnie did that.
I'm not denying that can happen, right?
I'd take Danny Welbeck tomorrow. I'd carry him to the lane. I really would. I'd rather have.
How many points are we getting, guys, from this? Out of 18 points, let's go. Mari, you go first.
I've said 7. Okay. I've said 7.
Honestly, Newcastle, House of Horrors, and St. James. I don't think we have a prayer in winning that game. I think that's the game. Most difficult out all of them, right?
Agreed.
I think that one is absolute.
Agreed.
We'll show a pulse against Arsenal because the North London derby, but we'll still lose. So 0 there.
Agreed.
Brentford is the only one I can say, and even me, I'm a little worried. Okay, we'll get 3 points there. United, I think at Old Trafford, I think we get 0. At Brighton, I think we get 0. At West Ham, I'm a little worried. I'm with Maz. I'm saying 4 points. We'll get a draw. I'm with Maz on that one. 4 points.
All right, 4 points. So Mari's really, really negative person. Okay.
Yes.
So, how many points, Dan?
I can see a 6 out of this because I can see us doing Man U because they're just one. They either turn up on the day or they don't. They're a bit like us in that aspect, and they proved it again today. And I don't think they look too special. Again, second game we shall see. But I think we can do Man U. Brentford would be a fight and a half, but I think we can do them. And if we're good, I think we get a draw with Brighton. I'm just worried about West Ham. I really am, because they always turn it on for us. They always do, and they've improved their team first 11 significantly.
Incredibly.
So, Newcastle always tear us a new one, walk like John Wayne after and all that. Arsenal is just Arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many?
I
How
reckon
many
the most
points do
we
you
can
go
get
with?
out of that is 7. Seven, I
That's
think
7,
we
yeah.
can get out of that.
7. Michael, you said 7 as well.
7 or 8.
7 or 8. Okay. Anthony.
I think we're going to lose at Newcastle badly. I think it's going to be close for the first 20, 30 minutes. Then I think they're going to get a goal in behind us. And I think the lid is going to come off and we're going to lose 3-0 there. I think against Arsenal, we're going to have a good account of ourselves. I think we're going to play a better game. I think Ange won't go with the highest of high lines. I think he'll be a little more pragmatic. I think we'll keep it close and lose 2-1 or 2-0, but still lose. I think against Brentford, I think we win that game outright. Although Thomas Frank on the sidelines pumping his fist in the 97th minute when someone scores to make it level, I could just see it. But I'm going to say we're going to win that. At Man U, I completely disagree. I think with anyone that thinks we're going to get anything there. Man U, when we go to Old Trafford, we almost never show up. Yes, I know we've won there. I get it. I understand. We have shown up before. It's happened. It's not Chelsea. It's not. Where did Chelsea play? I can't think today. It's not at. We're not away at Chelsea. But anyway, my point is I don't think we're getting anything there. Brighton, I don't think we're getting anything there. I think that's going to be Brighton. Brighton are going to be like that West Ham, like they're going to get up for us. They're really going to be playing their best. I don't think we're going to get anything there. And I think against West Ham, I think we'll get a hard fought draw. I think it'll be 1-1 or 2-2. I think West Ham are man for man are almost as good of a team as we are. And I just think I think they're more pragmatic, and I think we'll get 4 points. I really do. 4 and 7 at the most. At the most, we'll pop a surprise, shocking win in one of these games. 7 at the highest, 4 at the lowest, in my opinion.
Okay, so pretty much same as everyone else. Maz, what did you say? 4, was it?
4, yeah. So I think we'll lose against Newcastle. We'll lose against Arsenal. We'll win against Brentford. We will draw against United, and we'll lose against Brighton and West Ham.
Scott M, you're probably going to go 1 point?
Oh, I don't want to bore Danny D, so I'm going to be a little bit hopefully optimistic. I'm going to say 4 points. I think the high mark we could get is 7, and Danny, close your ears. If we got 0, wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I just don't know what people are saying when they keep saying, "Oh, we can get 12." Like, did you not watch us against Leicester? Like, we were crap.
Yeah.
And today, I'm going to say. Thank you guys for carrying the show for the first part, because I couldn't come on here because watching the game today, I think somebody said it before, it's just so boring. Like, we won 4-0 and it was boring. There was nothing from this game today that makes me think that we can carry forward that's going to be positive, right? We kept a clean sheet. Great. But we didn't keep a clean sheet because our defense was great. It's because Everton was so crap. We didn't keep a clean sheet because we fixed our problems. So we're going to go forward and we're going to have the same issues that we always have, the same issues that we had for the vast majority of last season. So I honestly think I'll say 4, and people can say it's a negative. It's the reality of what our club is. It's the reality of what our team is under.
That Bentancur injury doesn't happen against Leicester, we lose that game. Period.
Yeah, we're on.
I 100% agree with that.
Lose that game.
Bentancur getting injured saved our ass.
So are we concluding then that Michael's the happy clapper and we're just realistic?
I think
Michael was pretty realistic.
By the way,
I agree with him.
I just want to say I'm going 6 points. 2 losses, three draws, and 1 win.
Wow. 3 draws.
Yeah, 3 draws.
So 2 wins. All right.
But
1 win.
Gordon, no, I didn't. Stop lying. I predicted Everton 2-1. It's out there multiple different places. Why do people have to come in here and lie?
By the way, I don't think I was anywhere near happy clappy, right? I think my estimation of the teams was
8 out of 18
is realistic, right? Like 7 or 8 out of 18.
No.
I would say it's on the low end, right? Happy clappy would be 16.
He's not saying it's good.
You weren't happy clappy. It's just you called us negative, then you predicted 7 points.
But that's still positive compared to you fucking lot, isn't it?
Exactly. Compared to us miserable gits, he's a happy clapper.
Exactly. Me and Mike be the happy clappers.
1 point less than him.
That's still negative.
Yeah, you're negative.
That's still more negative now. Have some fucking faith in your team, mate. Come on.
Oh, dear.
Back them up.
It's funny.
Yeah,
I can't wait until these games. I've got to be honest. I'm really looking forward to the
I know,
next
me
lot
too.
of games.
Me too. You can watch the fireworks. I was calling West Ham might be his last game. Like that might be it. If we lose, the stadium comes down. So God knows what's gonna happen. And by the way, I hope that doesn't happen and we go 6-0, guys. I am not hoping to be right. I am not hoping, but I was right about Eze. I was right about Eze, and I knew that in June. I wasn't right about him last week. I was right in June. I said we're not getting Eze. Eberechi Eze is not the type of player Tottenham goes out and gets. That's the perfect player for us. That's the player everyone dreams of. That's exactly. He's like the new Dybala. He's not coming to Tottenham. Tottenham will not do what it takes. And I knew it. And sure enough, shocker, we didn't get him.
I thought we could honestly get him because he had that buyout clause on him. I thought Levy might think, right, I'll snap him up for that buyout clause because I know in a season or two he'll get really good, hopefully, by the way it looks, and I'll be able to sell him for 100 million plus. It would have looked like a good business deal for Levy as well.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. But even that, I knew it still wouldn't happen.
No, but I thought there was a chance it could happen. I thought there was a chance.
It's too logical. It makes too much sense. That's why it could never happen.
But once you heard that there was some parameters and nobody's sure that money had to be paid up front, Levy's never going to do that. He doesn't. He doesn't care about the player. He wants
to take a loan out. Then Levy take a loan out and give them the money and pay them back.
Too risky for him.
Or don't buy players like Johnson and Werners and put that money toward. Do you know what? I knew we weren't getting Eze when Elise went by Munich because I just thought there's no way Crystal Palace are going to let Eze go now. Anything less than 70-80 million because they're going to be able to command it, and we're not going to pay that.
No, but a buyout was 65 mil, right? Period. End of story. Buyout's a buyout. You trigger the clause, he's gone. 65 mil.
No. In England, it doesn't work that way. You have to agree with the player for the contract. You have to agree with the club to play.
We didn't even bid, though, did we, Michael?
All I'm saying, in Spain, buyout clauses work like behind the club's back. Someone can pay a buyout clause. The club doesn't even know.
But in England, it's not that way,
right? In England, you have to talk to the club. You have to talk to the player. Everything has to be agreed, right? So
with it though, if it's 65 million buyout, as long as you put 65 million on the table, and then they're cancelled out, and but like you say, then you got to do everything with the player as well. But that cancels the club.
I'm not arguing that, right? I still think we are fucking bottle jobs for not getting the guy. If we really wanted him,
big time.
I'm
such an obvious buy, right? And
he's my dream player, my dream player. But I knew we weren't getting him because it made too much sense.
We should have
Ashley, who says relegated teams, the same teams when Arsenal beat them, you will be gushing. The difference is Arsenal beat teams who are also in the top 10 that we don't. Yeah. So that's the difference.
Arsenal go to Villa and take care of business. They beat Chelsea. They beat teams like that. Arsenal beat Man U. Arsenal, the teams we lose to in the top, Arsenal will take care of business 3 times out of 4.
Yeah. So just because I checked, right? Arsenal last season did 4 points on City, 4 points on Liverpool, 4 points on us, 4 points on United, or 6. The only team they lost to in the top 10 were Villa twice, right?
6 points on Chelsea.
6 points. 4 points. They drew at Stamford Bridge.
They drew.
But basically they
Newcastle
almost 3 points because they lost away, right? But the point is Brighton they beat twice, if I recall correctly, right?
West Ham
basically lost at home 2-0, won away 6-0 or something like that.
Yeah, they battered them 6-0.
But they lost at home. They lost at home after like the most bizarre, misses, and West Ham just
I remember that
chances, right? Yeah. So, but basically the point is, out of the top 10, they did at least 3 or more on every single team other than Villa. That's the point, right? And we did 3 or less on most teams, right? Or even 0 in some cases, right? So that's the point we are making.
No, I totally agree. Arsenal, you know, as much as I'm you know, inbred to hate them and stuff, and he was Pep's comb boy and Lego man and everything, and I'm admitting this. I loved getting on that wagon of he's 8th place, he's a joke. Now that Brazilian guy that they have as their general manager and Arteta are looking like geniuses. And when I watch them play, it really there's a camaraderie and a togetherness there. That is to me, it's the envy, because they're a team that's better than the sum of their parts. It's not that they have ringers in every position. They're incredible. They have good players, some players that are pretty like what player do they have that's like a Kevin De Bruyne? Who? Saka? He's not De Bruyne level. They don't have anyone that's like absolutely blows you away with how incredibly. It's more like they're all good.
It's a team.
Good, and they play as a team.
By the way, Stelios, you highlighted that Arsenal conceded 3 away goals this whole calendar year.
Defensively,
but you know what the funny part is? 2 of those were against us.
It's basically been a complete
Arsenal
turn, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you're right. Yeah,
I'm just just joking with the stat. 3 fucking away goals whole calendar year. We are in
that's
August.
Insane, guys. That's a team that plays together. Like, and I hate to keep saying this. It makes me sound like I'm an Arsenal fan. I hate them, but the fact is that's a team that plays together. They know who's going to be where. They are coached well. Every man knows his job. Every guy on the bench.
They don't invert their fullbacks the way we do. They actually have a number 6.
Yes, I totally agree.
High line every game.
Yeah.
By the way.
Man or Pep's cone boy all of a sudden might be the best, the second best manager in the Prem. I hate to say it, but
he just does the right things. He just does the right things. It's like
that's part of being a great manager, is doing the right things, picking the right players, putting them in the right positions, giving them a chance to succeed, knowing when to say no to a player. When they got rid of who was that? Aubameyang, they basically gave us the Champions League, and that was a Pyrrhic victory for us. We were like, yeah, we made 4th. You guys suck. You know, we're watching Arsenal on a Thursday night. We loved singing that song. We'd made 4th under Conte. They made 5th. Guess who has the last laugh? Talk about a Pyrrhic victory. They were like, fine, we'll take 5th. He basically abandoned that season and kicked Aubameyang to the curb.
We've tried the same. We've got rid of Kane.
He didn't abandon that season. He didn't abandon that season. They bottled it through and through. He didn't abandon.
Yeah, they choked that season. Let's not.
My point is that they do things for the long term. They weren't just looking at that one season. I agree they bottled it. I'm the last person that wants to defend Arsenal. I'm simply saying that they do things long term. That Arteta, I'm sorry, is a much better manager than certainly I ever thought. I loved calling him Pep's cone boy and Lego man and listening to Lee Gunner and loving how this manager. I loved hearing that, right? But guess what? It's wrong. I was wrong. He was wrong. Everyone else, it was a hater.
He's a good manager. To be a great manager, you got to win things.
No. I totally agree. I'm not saying he's Sir Alex Ferguson.
He's been backed, isn't he? He's been given time. They've allowed him to ride the rough patches.
Yeah, they've allowed him money.
The recruitment is. By the way, can I just say,
gave him time.
I just want to say quickly, Ankit, you say comparing previous seasons. Are we? If you don't compare previous seasons, how do you know if you're improving?
How do you employ someone with a CV?
It's not like we have all new team players either.
Where'd you get your data from?
Yeah. Why'd you buy a new player? Because he just looks pretty or something?
It makes no sense.
Or he's got a nice name. No, you look at his CV and you say, right, that looks good. I'm going to buy that player.
His past seasons have been good.
Still, when you say that Arteta has been given time... Sorry, Maz.
All right, Maz. Take care.
Take care.
See you later, mate.
See you, Maz. When you say that Arteta has been given time, it's not just that he had time. He's using a system that's proven to work in the Premier League and proven to win things. And beyond that, they are supplementing him with high quality, talented players, the way that every other team that's won in the Premier League has done it before. And I think this is something that I'll always say, and it's too bad Maz is gone because he'd probably say the same thing, but that what people who say, look at how much time Arteta got, we have to do the same thing for Ange. This is where they get it wrong, because giving Ange time with a system that he uses that has never been shown, and in fact, the opposite has been shown, a system like he uses where you don't focus on defense, where you're not top 3 in goals against will never work. It's not the time that Arteta got. Like, people try to pretend like it's not clear how to win. Everybody, we know how to win in the Premier League. Look what Chelsea did. Look what Liverpool did. Look what
Defense
City
wins
did.
championships.
And
Quality players,
every
quality
sport.
managers, and defense.
And Scott,
That's how you win.
Scott,
and
you're totally right.
to add on to that, even on Thursday's show, even Steph
Totally
admitted
right.
that COVID year kind of helped Arteta a bit. There were no fans to complain in the stadium when they would finish 8th. So even then, they had Arteta had a little bit of luck that COVID came in, and normally he would be on fire on the hot seat,
Getting
but
heat, booze and stuff. Yeah, agreed.
You know,
Agreed, Mari. The chips fell, but I will say this: he did learn off Pep, and the fact is that but so Lucky is supported by his by the brain trust there, by the manager who sent his son, by the owner, the Cronkies, who, by the way, Stamford Bridge is the name of Chelsea's shithole, so I can't believe I didn't remember that. But the Cronkies, they sent their son, Stan Kroenke sent his son to talk to the fans and say, I want to listen to you guys. We don't want you to hate us. What's going like? Has this dialogue? I was so I was so jealous of that. I couldn't even believe it. And they have a dialogue, that they have something where there's a togetherness there with the team and the fans, and the Cronkies are saying, look, we want to win. Yes, I know they haven't won. They've come in second to Man City. That's not really anything horrible. Coming in second to Man City. He needs to win something, Champions League, another FA Cup, but he really needs to win the league. But we all know that if and when Pep goes, and he will go in the next 2 years, God help us, because then Arsenal truly will. If Arteta is still there, which he will be, then we got a problem, because then Arsenal's going to be favorites to win the league, and they should win it. All they have to do is just keep the ship until Pep finally goes, okay, I've won 5 in a row. I'm done. I'm hanging up my I'm going somewhere else. I'll coach the Spanish national team, whatever wherever sunset he goes off into. Once that happens, we've got a problem. It's only City that are keeping Arsenal from winning something.
And just to comment in the chat, and I want to bring it up because I've heard it many times. Somebody says, "Oh, Scott M, you're a genius. You know the tactics." It's not my tactics. It's Pep and Klopp and Conte and Jose and every other manager that's won. Like, it's not me saying that I know how to do the tactics. I'm looking at what wins the league. So if you're going to argue with what wins it, you're arguing against Pep. Pep doesn't play with a back two. His line isn't this high. He never has teams that concede 60 plus goals in a season. He doesn't consistently have problems with set pieces and say that it's not an issue. It's not my tactics. It's the tactics of the managers that win the Premier League.
Scott, sticking with Ange would be like giving a heroin addict a lot of heroin and saying, I'm going to give him a whole bunch of heroin, and then just think once he gets tired of doing this, he's going to quit. Like, I'm going to supply him with as much heroin as he needs, and then eventually he'll get tired of it, and he'll be like, I've had enough of this heroin stuff, and he'll have quit. It's that delusional. I totally agree. Sticking with this is the frightening position we're in, is that I don't hate Ange as a person. I think he's a great guy. I even think that some of the football that we play occasionally does look good, and it is easier on the eye than Conte was. I think it's suicidal, but I say it can be fun to watch. I'll give him that occasionally, but sticking with him, this is the position that we're in. I don't want us to fire yet another manager, but only because we always fire managers, not because of anything to do with Ange. And the frightening thing is we're going down the path where there's a fork in the road, and you're exactly right. We're going down the path for the sake of it. We're going down the path because, can't fire manager number 22. You got to stick with them. But manager number 22 might not be the manager that you need to stick with. You might, want to build something with an Eddie Howe type of manager, as opposed to a suicidal my way or the highway, put everyone in the 30-yard box type of manager that we have. So I completely agree with that. I think we are really screwed, guys, because we are between a rock and a hard place. We are sticking with a guy, and I'm not even saying that I want him fired tomorrow. I'm simply saying we're sticking with a guy that he might ruin us. He might be the kind of guy that every year you stick with him, we get farther away from what we should be doing, not closer. And the acquisitions of Brennan Johnson and Solanke and people like that just prove it, especially Brennan Johnson and signing Timo Werner. So Stel, you were talking about this in May. You were saying if he re-signs Timo Werner, I'm done. And he did. They did. Now that might be the club's fault, and he doesn't say it because he wants a paycheck, and I understand that. But the fact is he is a yes man, and we are in trouble because, Scott, you're totally right. This effing suicidal football is not going to work when we come up against Barca. Imagine playing a Real Madrid in the Champions League semifinals with this kind of line and with these, we'll lose 7-1. It'll be unbelievable. It'll be a cricket score. So yeah, this is the problem. Is do we fire him and fire manager 22 and get in manager 23, or do we stick with the manager? And this is stick or twist. And this is the age old Tottenham conundrum. Here we are again.
We probably won't reach the Champions League, so there is no need to worry about.
I'm just saying. Imagine, picture it.
I think and I'll surprisingly defend Ange a little bit here. Even if you did say, well, we need to back him, and his system does have a chance to win, we're not even doing that, right? Like when you're buying players, you're buying Timo Werner and you're buying Odobert, and you're not buying anyone in midfield. Like we're not even giving him a chance. As much as I don't like him, I will acknowledge too that we aren't giving him the best chance he has with what we're doing with our transfers. Right?
Yeah,
and I don't think that sacking Ange means next manager comes in and we win 5 Champions Leagues on the trot.
Right? He didn't have Solanke on the tip of his tongue in May going, I want that guy. That's the guy I want, Solanke. You get me him and we're good. Yeah, you're right. I totally agree.
I got to go. I just want to answer the question. No one said Ange had to win his cup his first year. We haven't won in 16 years. But you have to have a better showing than what he did, especially in the almost like Carling Cup, because that's the last time we won. The Carabao Cup, that was atrocious against Fulham. Not even trying to win that game.
Agreed.
That you cannot do. And so when we play on Wednesday, I think was it Wednesday or Tuesday? The Carabao Cup, is it this week? It starts.
No, there was no draw yet.
No.
It starts a bit later, does it? Right. Anyway, I've got to go. I'm done. But cheers for having us on. I'll see you later.
Thanks for coming on. Everyone, make sure to subscribe to the Hotspur.
Thanks,
everyone. Have a good day.
Big up, everyone. Big up, guys. Take care.
Do you know? I'm just. Oh, Anthony, where's everyone going?
They all said they have to go.
Did we end the show? By the way,
Mary and Dan said they had to go. I don't know if Anthony just.
I think Anthony.
I think Mari wants to talk about this comment here. Tottenham away. Arteta won a cup. Yes, he did. Right. Spurs have won a cup. No, we haven't. With which coach? No coach, because we've got Daniel Levy as chairman. But Ange has to win his first year. If he's going to be any different, then yes. But he's no different, right? I don't get these arguments. I just feel like you're just. Do you know what I feel like? I feel there's a lot of people out there that just want to argue with us because either they haven't got their own channels because they haven't got the confidence to do it. 2, they won't come on and debate these points. And quite often, the amount of time I say, come on the show, hello@tottenhamaway.com. Here's the email. Email me, I'll get you on. Or they just want to be destructive. I don't get it. Anyway, I keep trying to justify everything with comments. It's pointless. I've just blocked 5 people because they're just being lunatics in the chat. Guys, it's not just
there's some crazy comments. Like if you're going to say that Odobert did more on the left than Son, like how are you even supposed to comment? Like how are you even supposed to treat that as a realistic statement, right? Like that.
Because I think one of you guys mentioned it. People want to have like for the lack of a better word, edgy opinion, right? And they want it to be right so much that they start spewing random shit, right? Because even like we don't agree on everything, right? Even with the score predictions, right? We don't agree on everything, but it's we are not going from 0 to 1. I always say it, right? There is a middle ground where you can say, I liked Odobert's performance, for example, right? I liked Odobert's performance. I think he has talent, right? And that's it. But saying ridiculous shit like he had a better performance than a guy who scored 2 goals for us, and it's like, are you fucking like? I don't know what words to use to describe like such behavior. It's
Michael. It's things like this, right? See, he's telling Haz to be miserable. Like, fine, be miserable because Haz doesn't believe in the players we sign and in the system we have, right? But the thing is, Danny, you're already miserable because you've never seen us win a trophy. Like, look how young you look. If that's your real picture, you've never seen us win a trophy. You're already miserable. You don't realize it. And the amount of fake positivity you consume, you're living a fake world where you think everything's going to work out and these players are great, and you're proven wrong every year. As isn't miserable. He's just realistic and honest. This is the problem. This is exactly what happened with Brennan Johnson. When I was saying this guy's shit, Timo Werner's shit, when I was saying it, no, some people listen, some don't. Now, a lot of them are saying, get him out. But you're the ones that facilitated him. You're the ones that tried to justify him. You're the ones in that fake positive world that slagged off us realists. And I don't think anything's going to change at Spurs whilst we've got... Do you know what? I've said this before and it pisses people off, but they need to hear it. The biggest problem is Daniel Levy because he created this, Enoch. But I think the fans are now the biggest problem because they allow it to continue. They allow it to happen. They say stupid things like, yeah, Werner, good bit of business. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Every rival fan is laughing at us for this. They're cussing us for Werner.
They buy into the myth that we're going to do it differently, that we're going to win the league in a way nobody else has ever won the league. Like I'm just... It's straight there. You look at everyone that wins the league outside of Leicester in the miracle season that will never happen again. I guess if you think that there's going to be another miracle season where every other top 6 team is down and having their worst season, right? Like
everyone was shit that season. Everyone was shit that season. And
you better hope that City falls off. But
right, do you know what, Danny? This Danny guy, you're being a bitch. You're being a right little bitch on the show. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to send you the link. Come on and let's see what you got. All right, there it is. I've just put the link in the chat. Camera on so we can see your face. Don't hide. You can be a coward in the chat or you can come on and be a man. Up to you. Be a man, be a little pussy in the chat. Let's see what you got. I put it in. I'll be respectful when you come on. I won't swear. I won't curse you.
You just called him a pussy.
Yeah. But if he comes on, I'll give him some respect. Right now, he's got no respect because he's hiding. He's hiding, right? So come on, Danny. Let's see what you got. Let's see what he does. He won't come now. He won't come. He'll shit himself. Because this is what they do. They're cowards. They're cowards.
By the way, all we are postulating here, right? And I think we are in the same boat. I think we are like a bit, some of us are a bit to here, some of us are a bit to here, right? But why do people have to be so like one-sided with their opinion, right? It's like some of those fans claim Werner is brilliant, right? Werner is the fucking shit, right? We have to sign Werner. He was proven in the system. Look at his output, 2 goals, 2 assists in since January when we brought him in, right? But they give you those arguments, right? And then you tell them, listen, I think there is like 40 different wingers out there in Europe that can do a better job than him, that had more G&A in better teams in a better league, right? Or not better teams, sorry, in similar leagues, similar level, that there are like 40 wingers. You name them, right? And I'm saying this because I literally had this happen to me, right? I named 40 fucking wingers to this guy, right? 40 wingers that can do a better job than Werner. No, this guy is shit, this guy is shit, this guy is unproven, prem-proven, and oh no, this guy is slow, this guy is injury prone. Like, how far up your own ass do you have to be to just defend your opinions like that? Like, it's like it's just being like, why can't people be normal with their opinions, right? Why it's always so like ridiculous, so
The thing is, Michael, right? I'd like to believe that I am a fan. If I say something, I'll try and back it up with some substance or some evidence or some data or some logic that says, you know what, hold on, there's a path to where Stelios got to this view. But then when a lot of the not all, but a lot of comments you get in chats, they just fire off their mouth, and you think, right, what's the point you're making? Yep, I'm negative. I'm a paedophile. Brilliant, great, thank you. Yeah, my family are all horseshit. Thank you. Right now, you got that off your chest. What's your point? And then they'll say something, and you think, right, can you back that up? It's just my opinion, so you can't back it up. Then opinions are nothing unless you can back it up. This is the biggest con as well on all YouTube channels, on any football club platform. It's just an opinion. Yeah, but an opinion means nothing if you can't back it up. You know, people used to think the world was flat. Right. Danny, I can see a guy in the back room called Kiri, which isn't Danny. So I don't know if this is you or if someone random's come in the chat. There's no camera on, so that's not happening. Put your camera on and I'll bring you on. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there. Because I'm not going to have...
By the way, guys, it's 2 a.m. here in Poland, so I have to go. I'm knackered today. So, yeah,
see you later.
Have fun with the Danny guy if he comes on. But, yeah, it's a bit too late for me. So, see you guys. Thank you for the show. Brilliant show. And listen, as much as we talked about, like, getting smashed at St. James's, if people think that I wish that we get smashed, then get your heads checked, right? I want us to win. I want us to get 18 points out of those games. But I'm just fucking realistic, right? That's the point. You don't have to live in the Lulu land. You can just, have a realistic opinion about your team and about how they are doing, right? That's it. Thank you guys for the show. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Michael. See ya.
Okay, so whoever this Kiri is, you're now in the private chat that the people watching the show can't see, and you're saying that you're not Danny. So why are you here? I didn't send the link to you, Kiri, respectfully, and you don't have your camera on, so I'm not bringing you on the show, buddy, or lady. I don't know what you are. But Danny's gone missing from the chat. What a surprise. Shat himself. This is what we're dealing with. As soon as you challenge them, they go running, man. How can you respect people like this? And then people like Scott M get a lot of abuse. Scott, you get a lot of abuse, but Scott comes on the show. He's like, fine, let's debate it. I don't get it.
It's the most frustrating thing because, like you said, I'll come in and I'll have my opinions, and they can be called negative. That's fine. But when I say something, I have a reason why I don't just say, oh, and again, and I like Jordan in the chat, so he might, and I know he might have just got it wrong. I predicted we'd win 2-1 against Everton. Right? Everybody said, somebody told me actually that I wasn't allowed to predict an Everton win or a win against Everton because I'm always so negative. But like when I said last week at 1-1 against Leicester, I wasn't saying it just to be negative. If I wanted to be negative, I predict lots of Spurs wins. And anybody that questions me, I always go on to Jose's prediction so you can see them. I thought we were going to do 1-1 against Leicester because I saw in the end of last year what I saw over the summer, and I said to you when we talked, we hadn't changed any of our problems, and I saw the lineup we were putting out. We weren't putting out any better quality, and we had a real chance to struggle, right? If that's a reason. It's a reason. It's not just to be negative. Lots of times I find these people that say, "Oh, I don't want to hate my club. I don't want to criticize my club," and to a certain extent, I'm okay. If you just want to say, "I just want to be fluffy and love the club and never want to criticize them," I can understand that. But then don't come after me and say that I'm negative because I don't have that same opinion, right? But like you said, so many of these people, Danny, we know he's not going to come on. People on other channels, they never ever come on because they have nothing to debate. They have nothing that they can bring up. They can only say their silly little comments in the chat. They can't actually come up and back up any of their positions.
And this is what I mean. They say things. Right. There is someone here. I don't know if this is Danny. We're going to find out. He's got his camera on, so I'll give this person a chance. Is this Danny? No, this is Nick. Nick, were you Danny in the chat?
Oh no, sorry. I was trying to catch you offline.
You're trying to chat to me. Okay. Is there anything you wanted to say? Welcome to the show anyway. Hi.
Yeah, I think I'm really enjoying the victory. Sorry.
No, finish what you're saying. I could hear you.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just wanted to enjoy the magnificent victory we had today. Johnson, I was hoping more from. He was terrible. And I'm interested in Odobert. I'd like to see what he could give, give him some game time.
Well, yeah, we need to see him play like 10, 15 games to see what he's actually about. It's impossible to tell that now.
He's just turned up, But
yeah, I agree.
As fast as I thought. I thought he was really fast, but he's not.
What do you think Brennan Johnson is like? This is the wrong club for him. That maybe it's we're not. He's not good enough for Tottenham.
Do you know? To be honest with you, in the beginning, I thought he could be a good signing. A little polish, and he'll fire. But he didn't. The thing is, he did do well last season.
I listen. I personally don't think he's good enough for Spurs. I think we've wasted £50 million. I've been very honest and open about
I do now. But in the beginning, I thought it was expensive, but I just thought that this kid maybe, and Ange said he wanted him, but it didn't work out well.
No, I think most of Ange's attacking signings haven't been good, to be honest with you.
BJ, we ain't gonna get that money back.
What, for Brennan Johnson? No, I don't think anyone's going to give us £50 million to but I don't think Ange wants to sell him. I think every comment Ange makes, he loves him. He's like, yeah, I believe in him. There's a lot more to come. It's his guy, which is, that whether the manager believes it or here's a question for you. Do you believe that Ange, the things he says, he actually means, or do you think he's just playing the game? He's just doing the PR for the club?
I think he got a bit too excited when he came into the job. He came into a big club. Okay, for him, a big club. Tottenham is not a big club. We have a big stadium, but we're not a big club. And the thing is, I think Ange came in with these thoughts and hopes and dreams that he was gonna make miracles happen because he had success elsewhere. He thought he could do the same there. Well, he's turned up at Tottenham, and now he's learned the harsh realities of the Tottenham way.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to change Tottenham. He's going to do his best. He's going to do the Levy way. But then again, I've got a thing still, right? When Levy took over and everything, we could tell the good stuff he did, I'm not arguing that. But we all have to acknowledge we needed a new first team. We needed some quality players brought in. We needed some real powerhouses to come into our team. But at the same time, because he'd neglected the academy, we're now in this double whammy. We need the first team and we need academy. We need everything. And in today's value, you've seen how the market prices are in the Premier League. Any other country, they look at the Premier League. Oh, hang on, it's the Premier League. Let's add another 10 mil on that. And Levy, in that sense, missed the gravy.
Are you talking about every season, or are you talking about under Ange?
No, not under Ange. I'm talking about since the Levy tenure.
Yeah, but I don't believe they want to win trophies. I don't think.
I actually agree with you.
I don't think they're interested in it.
They did not lie to us. They said, I remember day one, they said, this is what we want to do. And I thought, great, because I naively thought that, oh, great, you're going to like build up because Owen Scholar, okay, they said that we would have gone bankrupt. I think that's kind of edging, but I know that was close to the mark. Do you remember Owen Scholar? You wanted to spend all that millions on the director's box.
Yeah. Irving Scholar
Yeah,
financially was bad news for the club. Alan should have stabilised the club, and then Levy took us.
Scared the pants off me, because then after that I started noticing right, left, and centre other clubs going to the wall, and I thought, whoa, hang on a minute, we need something sensible. Along come Alan Sugar, blah blah blah. All right, there's some good things. We've got some great Sky deal. Give him that one. He fought against. Remember they tried to sanction us over Irving's.
Yeah, but Nick. Sorry, I don't want to derail you here. We know all this. We know all this. Like right now, though, we've got Ange and we've got a manager who's basically. Well, this is a post-match show for Spurs versus Everton. We won 4-0, right? What at the heart of today's conversation on the game is, are you really excited and positive and wow, this is brilliant, we're going in the right way? Or are you, hold on a minute, it's only Everton. Let's see the next 6 games where we've got Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton, West Ham, Man United. Let's see after then what's really going on. Because on this channel, not all of us, but most of us, we're not convinced. We're not like doom and gloom, we're going to get relegated. But where are we going with this?
If I weren't on board, I wouldn't watch your show if I weren't on board. I watch Seven.
I don't know if you watch it. I don't know. That's right.
No, I'm a member. No,
I've met you before.
I've been here, mate. Do you remember? I've been on your channel for the last 3 seasons. I remember the day when you got kicked out. It got shut down.
Let's start again. Yeah, don't remind me. Don't remind me.
I remember, and Will Stewart handed you a lifeline because he had like 3,000 members or something.
Yeah, Will Stewart, yeah.
You guys kind of kicked on from there and then become a powerhouse. But I was there, brother.
No, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
And Sava, I was one when Sava buggered off. I was one of them saying, I don't know why he went. The trouble with Sava, right?
Let's not talk about Sava because there's people watching and he might not want people to think what people think. It just creates conversation.
I won't know because I'm not speaking badly about him. All I'm saying is people are saying negative things to him, right? And he bites too much. And you know the trolls. If you buy it, they love it. They're like piranhas. Yeah.
Nick, let's not have that conversation because it feeds other people to go and do things, and it just gets,
But anyway, today, yes, great victory, 4-0. Can't argue with that. Clean sheet. I kind of expected that, to be honest. But
did you see anything in today's game that gave you real optimism going into the next 6 games, which are quite big for us? They're quite, top 10 teams we're going to be playing. Did you see anything different today that makes you think, we know we're gonna? This is different this time.
No. What I saw was, I saw 2 games, right? The first game and the second game. First game, I thought we seemed to sit back a bit more. We weren't the usual gung ho right up, but we seemed to be a little bit deeper, and I thought that's better. Except for we just could not put them chances away. Today's game, what I saw was the opposite. Obviously, we're at home. He really went gung ho, and it worked. It should work because it was Everton. And no disrespect to Everton, but they're going through an awful bad time. Now
Everton have conceded 7 goals in 2 games, Scored 0, and they've only got 14 fit players for the first team. If there's any team you'd want to play right now, whoever you are, I think it's them. No matter what team you are, whether you're Ipswich, whether you're Crystal Palace, Tottenham.
Yeah. But what I think is what that helps is like it's only second game. Some guys have sort of just joined the team and etc. And it just, I think that helps morale boost. And going to the next game, I know it's going to be tough, but I think the guys are going to fight harder, perhaps. I don't believe this Ange way is going to work long term. I said earlier in your chat, this is Aussie Ardiles tactics, and it won't work.
The Wild West. Scott, we need to drop Brennan Johnson next game, don't we?
Yeah, I know. It's the funny thing is, and I know when you guys were talking about it earlier, I was in the chat and I was seeing somebody saying like, who drop him for who. As much as I don't think that Odobert played great today, I would rather see him on the wing. I don't think he's any worse than Johnson, and he has the chance to do better. Kulu, who I never want to see on the wing again, because I think he's so much better in the middle. I would rather see him. But the reality is, and I said the solution to our right wing is very simple. It's very simple. There's a week left in the transfer window. Go out and buy someone. That's the solution, because we don't have an internal solution.
That's so true.
Go out and buy. But we've said it all summer long. And the funny thing, to tie it back into positive, negative stuff, the positive fans said it too, right? Like everybody in the fan base said, go out and get a quality winger. And that isn't Odobert. I'm like, he might be good, but Odobert is not who anybody meant when they said go get a right wing. But we didn't. And that was something, again, that's something everybody agreed on. But now we're talking about Spurs saying like we got to move our right back up to right wing. Like that's the problem when our right back is our best right winger at the club. Like that shows that we have problems.
Scott, I've got one question to ask you. Second, do you think now we don't have wingers? We don't have fullbacks. We actually have not even wing backs. We have something in the middle.
Yeah, I think the way we play our fullbacks and our wingers is something that nobody else does the same way that we do, and that it's going to be hard to find. It's funny because I see a lot of people say this guy's good in an Ange system, and then you'll see somebody else say this other player who's completely different at the same position is good in an Ange system. And again, it comes back to kind of why are we trying to fit players in this system that doesn't seem to work? Right? No player seems to fit in it. At the same time, every player seems to fit in it. And that to me kind of shows that no, there isn't anyone who really fits in it. But it always comes down to everything. And that's why I said earlier, when I've been very critical of Ange from the start.
Oh, I know.
Say that like every other manager we've had,
everywhere.
He doesn't have the
everywhere I am, I see you. You're in the chat.
Yeah, and I'm fine.
No, you speak a lot of truth.
I'm fine being vocal about what my opinion is. And as I said earlier, I'll back it up with reason. It's not just because I hate Ange. I've said about his system. I've made my opinions feel, clear. I back it up with reasons for it. Whether you agree with it or not, that's fine. But he doesn't have the right players. But my thing that I've always maintained, and where I'll disagree with Stel, and Stel knows we disagree on this. I think Stel thinks that if you get better players that it might work. I don't think that if you give Ange the better players that it'll even work that way. But you do need better than Brennan Johnson because it's too much. Too much.
I don't think better players necessarily fixes us defensively though. Ange needs to tweak that in certain games. That isn't about players, but the forward I think it would work. But to be honest with you, Scott, we're never going to find out because we're not going to sign those players. So he's going to try and mate, he's obsessed with Brennan Johnson. It's absolutely farcical. This sometimes you've got to admit
for the right back, the right forward position at the moment. All I can say is Odobert, because I do believe he plays better on the right. Okay, but he's still a kid, and it's not the answer.
No,
You're
you know what,
trying-
Odobert. If we would have not brought in Timo Werner, brought in Odobert, and then brought in a top level right winger, that would be a good. That's a good move, right? That's how you do it. You have a top quality right wing. Odobert then plays the role that Timo Werner would play. He's the backup who only has to play in certain times and can come off the bench. But instead, we don't do it that way. We buy in Timo Werner. We spend 65 million on Solanke. We spend 40 million on Archie Gray. And because Daniel Levy isn't going to spend tons of money, we ignore buying quality on the right wing. So this is what we do.
What scares
The
me?
history of the Tottenham.
What scares me, Scott, is I've heard a vicious rumour that at the end of this season, Werner is up for sale for 5 million. And I've got this awful, horrible feeling.
We're not going to pay that for him.
No, I've got this horrible feeling we'll buy him.
If
Leipzig
we do,
they don't want him, right? Leipzig don't want. He's not going to ever play again for Leipzig. He'll never play for them.
I've got a horrible feeling he's going to end up at Tottenham.
Well, the problem with the players like him that we hear all the time from him and others that are not good enough, like Richie said, he loves playing at. He loves Spurs, right? Because he gets a big contract. He isn't expected to perform. He gets praised for it. So it's hard to move them on because they don't want to leave because it's a nice and living in London. If you're making 170 grand a week, living in London's a great place. I can imagine, right? So it's a nice lifestyle for these guys. We want to vote. They don't want to leave.
Listen, chaps, I'm going to wrap it up because it's been 3.5 hours. It's 1:30 here in the UK. I'm battered. I'm tired.
I'm in the UK. Okay, no, it was great. It was a great conversation.
You've got more energy than me, mate. I tell you, I'm shattered. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that came on the show tonight.
No, but you put in a lot of work still.
Mate, I'm just tired. I went to the game as well. Tony for the gift membership. Jamie for the super chat. Eugene for the super chat. Elias for the being member. Henry for being a member. Football Heritage TV for 3 super chats. Thank you, Sava. Tony for a super chat. Thank you so much. Big up to you guys as well. Everyone in the chat. We'll be back on Monday for our Monday night podcast show, and we will be discussing the weekend's events. Thank you for everyone for watching tonight. It was a bit of a weird one, crazy up and down roller coaster one. This one, I don't know how it happened.
Very exciting. And at least we can go to sleep thinking,
it's stress for me.
We won a game. We won a game.
Make sure you follow the Hotspur Hood. Also, make sure you follow Sava. I don't have his link though, but you know Football Heritage. Go over there. Make sure you like and subscribe. Boys, thanks for staying to the end. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me as always, Phil.
Love to see you again, Scott.
Yeah, nice to talk to you, Nick.
Bye.
Guys, have a good night, morning, wherever you're from, and we'll see you on Monday. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.